You started up yours early.
No, I didn't. I haven't even started it.
Last time. For the tests.
Mine was.
Oh, this one's
Mine was like
beginning.
30 seconds early.
Right?
Yeah, early.
Didn't matter. You still got more viewers than me.
No, it doesn't matter about the viewers. It just matters that we do the noises
It
correctly.
doesn't matter about the viewers, Grant.
In terms of, like, the numbers. Nos anstrolon Phoebe. Seti sensuara teni.
Oh, I love what we can hear in the background. Just, you're literally listening to the lyrics. I think. Topic VR chat, correct? Or just chat? I'm gonna start streaming now.
We put it normally as VR chat.
Oh, okay. Well, we are live.
Damn. Darren's in this whole thing.
Hopefully your video is okay. This entire mess of sounds. Well, that's it, lovely. How? Okay. Question.
And well, that's
How do
the
I
end of
hide
our
the camera
cast.
thing?
How do you hide it? Just move it away.
Why? Yes.
What camera thing?
Nope, there's no hiding it, bro.
Oh no, this is sad.
That thing? No.
This thing.
The phone.
Okay, wait.
Oh, you just have a phone stuck to you. Yeah, no, you normally don't want to do it.
Like,
if you have your camera up. I don't see his either. I don't see Grand's.
Yeah.
But I have a camera. It's funny, right?
My camera's up there.
I wish there was a way to hide it. Mine is.
You see one right there?
Mine is
Over
over there
there.
as well, actually. Hey. Yes, but I cannot see my own thing. It is not visible.
My poor boy. Hello,
It's
Persinos.
working.
Jack, make sure that you post your link and underneath Foxtails in the streaming announcements.
Oh, yeah. Alright.
Check VR.
Oh my god, so it's the issue is now. Okay, do you want the issue with what I got here now, though?
There.
Okay, see, Fox, sing it
Why
out.
can I not see any of your cameras?
Yeah,
Like your VR chat
I
camera.
know, I can see it. I can literally see it.
Yeah, you
Anyway,
can see
it's
mine,
waiting
right?
on Fox, isn't it? I just realised something, Fox. So every single time I'm gonna tab out now, I just see.
I see
the
no one
stream can
else's.
see what I see.
No VRC cameras.
Oh. Alright, so
It's
Granny
fine.
has the best. Okay, Gran, let's see your stream setup right now. I want to see how this is looking. This is a comparison. Okay, so you only have one point of view.
I only need
Yeah,
one.
we both do.
Clean,
Hello, everyone.
clean setup. Oh, I have double. Greetings. Stay on.
Hey, look!
Yep, we can hear you.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Me. Are we doing introductions? We should do that first, because that's what we're supposed to do, right?
Probably.
I don't know.
I mean,
I just washed up on the
That
soul.
sounds-
Did you do it the first time?
Well, we
Or do you
every
want us
time
to go
we've
for our
done it,
normal thing of go on to one topic?
every time we've
We've
done
done
it, we've
one
always
topic and then
done
done it.
one topic and then immediately went into it. But we always wanted to do it just normal. Like we start normal and then we go into the wankiness. I don't care though. Whatever y'all want to do.
When do we ever do anything normal?
Man,
Now okay, that's too real. That is too real there.
yeah, that's true. Let's see here. First
Okay, can I
topic.
just
What
question
topic do
one
we
thing?
got? What you got?
Why the hell do they make the teacups at this table upside down?
They don't. Junie put them that way.
Drinking it.
They didn't. Junie put them all upside
Junie
down.
put them all upside
Oh,
down.
you did it. What? Okay, no, this upsets me. This really
Understandable.
upsets me.
Cup clip.
Did you say cup clip?
I don't know.
Flips.
Cup
Find
flip
something out. Don't
Yes.
sit in chairs and use
or
flat
cup
mode.
clit. I don't know.
Cup clip.
It breaks your flat
That
mode.
sounds painful.
Yeah.
Wait, oh, that's what I need to do.
Let's see here. Where are these things that Darren put that I don't know where is? Topics.
It's in
Hey,
the,
look!
Chat for.
Look! It's Mango. Everybody, look! Hey, it's Mango. Woo!
Yo, Mango,
Woo!
the boy.
Woo!
Come back.
Oh, it's me. Hi. Hi. How you guys doing?
How have you been? Where have you been?
On the shore.
Where have you been?
So I've
Up
been at
on
this
the shore.
wonderful place. I've been at this wonderful place. And there's food. And we're all green. It's really weird. We're all just green and short hair. It's wild.
Woodstock.
Yo, but how was the food?
And you know, it was actually pretty good. Like, except for the hot boxes. Fuck hot boxes. Those
You know-
fucking fake sausages need to die.
You know,
I swear to God, if I had powdered eggs one more time, I'm gonna leave.
Hey, wait. What is your favorite MRE
welcome to my
so far?
life.
Say again?
Favorite MRE so far?
None of them.
Accurate.
Come on,
Any
there's at
that
least one.
isn't.
No, there was at least one.
No.
They make me sad
There is
because they're
at
not mess food.
You didn't have
Yeah.
any that you
It's not
prefer.
bad.
I've tried
Mango.
MRE.
So-
I've tried MREs
So
before.
mango.
I thought the spaghetti and meat sauce wasn't too bad.
So Mango.
It would be a
Oh
spaghetti.
no.
I'll let you know now. If
I
my
wanna eat
experience
their
is
spaghetti
anything to
and
go
sauce.
by, it's not your last time
It's
seeing
actually not
fake
bad.
eggs.
I know
I
it's not bad.
fuck fakes, man. Like, give me that real
Fakes,
non-rubber. real
fakes are
eggs.
terrible.
Hey, Mango, you know what you want? You know what? I'll give you a good
Have
tip
some
here
drinks?
now. You want? No.
Oh,
You're fresh out of
Listen,
those.
if you get that breakfast muesli with some hot chocolate powder,
I want to remind you,
see,
It's a
with some,
dream.
like fruit yogurt. Ooh.
all of us are
We
in
do have a lot
different
of hot chocolate
countries,
powder.
so all of our MREs are not the same.
Yeah.
I've never had an
there's
MRE, to be honest.
come on, there gotta be at least. Listen, have you not had MRE with muesli in it?
What the fuck is muesli?
What's
I have no.
muesli?
I don't even know
Don't know
what is muesli.
is?
It's just nuts in his
It's
mouth.
Yeah, pretty much.
God, fuck. God, fuck.
So fucking perfectly timed. Okay. Wait.
Okay, think of
God.
think. Oh fucking
my
how?
gosh.
Okay, no. Easiest way to describe it. You know, granola is quite dry and crusty.
Yes.
So
Crusty
it's
though. That's a
oatmeal.
bit
That,
of a
but
strange word
with
to
less
use.
flavor.
I don't
Crusty.
Even less flavor?
So why would you
How do you
eat that?
manage that?
I
Is this why the British want to fucking die? Why would you eat that?
yes.
By the way,
Tell them have you-
Is this why y'all
Mango.
like consider beans on toast a fucking delicacy?
if you hate fake eggs,
I thought that was Australians
just
who
wait
consider
for
that a
fake
delicacy.
milk.
No, I will not wait for fake milk. I will have real milk. I will keep it in my pockets, just in my pocket. I will pour milk in my pocket, and I will have real milk.
We actually had a
Just our
dream.
contraband
God,
of
no.
real
Oh,
We've
God.
already lost somebody.
Foxtail's dead.
We
We've already lost somebody.
fucking
Wrist.
dead.
had a dude
Rest in
try
peace.
to bring real milk. He tried to bring a gallon of milk onto our boat. It fucking exploded in his backpack on the way down.
Good.
I like that. I
Yeah,
should
what
do
the
that.
milk doing?
Exploding.
Standing under pressure.
Under pressure.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. But now, Foxtail died. But we can still do introductions, and Foxtail can do their introduction when they get back. So we'll start going. We'll go around this way. We'll go around the table. So you introduce yourself.
All right. I'm the Jackal VR. Consigliere in the Signs of the Fallen Stars. Solid Snake impersonator. Been doing this for a long time now. And if I'm not having fun playing a game, I will have no qualms with dropping the game and playing something else. That's kind of a quick thing about me.
Nice. It's pretty cool.
Sweet.
How long have you been a man?
What?
That is a
No, I'm going
How
somewhere
long
with
have
this.
you been-
question. That is a question. That is a question. I know
Yes,
that
it
much.
is.
I
Yes,
have
it
no
is.
idea what to make of it, though.
How long have you been a man?
Wait, hang on.
Oh, if it's what you're referring to, I'm just gonna
Gee,
deflect.
woman.
Just say I've been. I'm just gonna deflect the question. Just say I've been married since September.
There we go. Okay, see, you got
Fair
me.
enough.
You got
We'll
me.
go with that. Yeah,
Woman.
we'll go with that. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Congratulations for your future past wedding.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Many thanks.
And now,
That's terrible.
you.
Yeah, you.
He is still
like coughing
muted.
again.
He is still muted too.
Yeah. He has
He's
no
trying to
Oh,
puff in
it's not just
silence.
me.
I think.
Oh, it's
He's
not
trying- I
just-
think they're just trying to be
me.
respectful.
Hello. There you are.
There you
Hello.
Bark.
Understandable.
Good
Imperial
introduction, I
drug
suppose.
hound.
Imperial
Nothing
truck
else needs
hand.
to be said.
Gotcha. Foxtail's back. I can't turn my neck all the way that way because I'm in pain.
They're coming around. They're coming around.
Yo!
What
My game
the
hated
hell?
the context
Hey!
Foxtail.
What?
What the hell was that?
We're not
just
very
DM
far into
you.
this, and we're
We're
gonna
just gonna
get
skip
the
it.
history's gonna get
We're already
TOS.
gonna get cancelled.
Okay,
We're gonna
no,
get
that was
cancelled already.
Why do you choose to have a body?
Skip
That
over it.
was...
I don't.
We're gonna skip over it. This is the world, and we know.
Fair enough.
Let's just go.
VR chat being wild. Anyways,
Alrighty. Well, Foxtail, give your introduction.
Oh, okay. Hi, it's Foxtail _games here, also known as Shion, your loved Kitsun.
well, something about yourself. Then.
I don't know. I like Gundam.
All right. They like Gundam.
Cool. Now it's you. Who are you? Why are you at this table?
I don't know. I kind of washed up on the shore. I'm Mango. I do this thing called play. I check. Pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, he's washed up, I guess.
Started in the metaverse, and now I'm here. I was Mortesian Syndicate, represent. Yeah.
Roman.
I don't really know where I sit within it. I'm in Roma.
Roma.
I'm in the Imperials. I do Imperial things, but I also don't. I kind of just exist and make the funnies. But I do, but I don't. It's a wild trip. Currently representing that green Australian army right now. Cool. I'm on a break right now.
Cool.
Yeah, we don't have anything cool. I just kind of get yelled. It's pretty cool.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Fuck rehydrated eggs. Fuck that shit.
Yes.
And don't grow almonds in your barracks. Anyway, yeah, that's me.
We're gonna have to get onto that like in a bit. But Scorch, do your thing.
I'm Sword29. Really, I don't have too much family. I enjoy Star Wars and Halo and all things futuristic. I somehow found myself in a 1920s roleplay group. I wanted boys in blue, but now we're green for some reason.
So you can blend in with the kelp.
Green.
Fair enough.
You are green.
Jackie boy.
We're blue though.
Shalom and salutations. I am Indominus Jack, the only most foreign person here. It's sad. I'm Welsh,
1 second, mouse.
and I play a British character known as Jack Sutcliffe, Tutorius.
How do you
Jack
measure
Sutcliffe.
foreignness?
I don't know.
How late is it for you?
Time is not
What time
an
is it?
accurate measure of what is foreign.
What time is it? What time is it?
Use a whole day in front of everybody.
What time is it?
Use
I'm in the future.
distance.
Okay,
Scale of
actually,
1
wait,
to
no.
10, how foreign are you?
Okay, never mind. He's the most foreign. He's in the future.
Yeah.
But
Call me the
I'm
metaverse
Welsh,
bitch, because I'm ahead of y'all.
Okay, Tomorrowlander.
Damn.
Okay, Outsider. Okay, Otherworlder.
That was a shit movie. Tomorrowland
Okay,
was a shit movie. I'll stand by
Outlander.
that.
oh no.
It's the
Yes, I
Tomorrowland.
am the Welsh, playing an English character that everyone still calls me Welsh.
It's because
Why? Why does that happen?
we don't care.
Oh.
They all the same anyway.
They're all the same.
That's who I am, and thankfully the show knows.
I think I have a
got
solution
my
for you on that,
oh,
though.
it's coffee. It's coffee. Oh, you motherfucker.
It's coffee for
Jack,
those mugs
Jack,
away.
I have a solution for that. If you can come up with a way for us to give a shit about the difference between Englishman and Welsh, I think you have a better shot at getting that resolved.
Sheep.
Why is that? Why is that your way to define the difference?
Calm down.
Right, the Welsh fucks sheep.
That's it all. I will not continue further with this one. There, there you go. There's your talk jar, talk cup. You go.
Oh, look, it's the talking stick. Hi, I'm Bearpog. I am in your walls.
Alright, I didn't.
Can I move on now?
What is this energy?
Tell me about yourself.
Tell us about yourself.
I've been in the Mortesian Syndicate for like 2 years now. I think. No, not 2 years. 1 year, maybe. Yeah, because 2 year anniversary. No, it's been 2 years.
2 years.
Getting close.
Been in here for 2 years now. I'm an Imperial Consigliere under this
Hey, yo.
cretin. Yeah. My favorite color is purple. Here's the
Yes.
talking stick.
Purple up.
That's the only color you.
Purple
that's the
up.
only color.
Purple up.
The talking coffee. Hello, fuckos. My name is Grand Vita Mortem. I am the CEO, founder of the Mortesian Syndicate. Been doing my thing for well over now, or at least by half a year, 2 years now. Leader of the Imperial House, Mortem. 60 of whiskey combat met against its army once upon a time. Do my thing. Lich Priest of Babylon. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, hit that rap.
Sierra wants to know about the
I
rings.
fucking knew it. The moment I try to grab my hand, all of a sudden I sit in one of these chairs randomly.
See now, that's a subject actually. So about the rings, what would you be without those rings?
A
A
giant
lesser
bear.
man.
Not right now.
What?
What are you talking about, Darren?
I think they unmuted.
God damn you.
I think they
What do you
unmuted themselves on
think we're
accident.
talking about? What do you think we're talking about? Shut the fuck up.
We ain't talking about the
Talking
cock
some
rings.
very wholesome
Trying to
rings
keep
that
us
just
on
so
track.
happen to be around my fingers, you know? You know?
Your specialty finger.
Well, even
Very
without the
wholesome.
rings, you'd still have your connection to like the Norse mythology, and that connection that would assume made you significantly stronger. Your character significantly stronger than before.
Yeah.
Initially.
It's just, you know. Gran decided to give me a joke artifact one day. Like, the first ring originally did nothing, by the way. I want y'all to know that. Originally, it did nothing, and it was a solid month before Leo DM'd me, hey, this is what your ring does. That shit was a bit that I took to, like, such an extreme level. And now there's
Oh, yes.
world lore about it.
Lore.
So you
Yes,
also
it is
need
quite
to
a
go
significant
of the
point.
bear running through the forest, shining upon everybody's light.
Yes.
Yeah. See, they
Yes.
thought there was big. Yeah, they thought Bigfoot existed, but then there's just no. It's just really you.
Yeah.
It was just
Oh,
you.
it was just a gigantic
I mean,
bear
you know what
shining
they
light
say
up
about
on
men with big
everyone's
feet.
eyes.
You're just bear on a fucking trip.
It's wacky. Well,
Fuck.
let's see here. Darren wants us to stay on track and know what's our next topic. So our next topic is going to be based off of basic training / JROTC stories. Who wants to start?
Oh god.
What's the almond story?
I got a couple and mine are
Yo, what's
fresh,
this almond
so-
story?
Oh, the
Tell me
almond
about the
story? Okay.
almonds.
So, we were going to the mess for breakfast, and we're meant to lock our lockers and whatnot, obviously for like security and all that kind of shit. But one of my roommates did not lock his locker. We came back to his room and there was clothes everywhere, like in the vents, in everything. They'd hidden his clothes all over the room. It was like an Easter egg hunt. It was great. Not really, it sucked. But anyway, there was something in his locker that he didn't tell anyone else. Anyway, we all get called out into the hallway. We're all just standing there at attention. All this fun jazz. And one of the crumbles pulls out a fucking tin, like a canteen tin, not the actual canteen itself, but like a cup canteen. And it's full of water and almonds. And the almonds had been sitting in the water for a few days. And it wasn't like one packet of almonds, it was like 6 or 7 packets of almonds in this canteen. So I'd been doing it for a while. And anyway, this canteen was then thrown down the hallway, the water and the cup also. And so our hallway was now wet, covered in almonds. And then they all went to every room and grabbed every single bin, threw that down the hallway. So we now had a whole bunch of water and almonds and about 15 bins just thrown down the hallway. And then
Why
we had
was
to
he
clean that
growing
all in like
almonds?
7 minutes. It was, I don't know, I think he was trying to milk them, I'm not sure. I still don't know.
Wow.
He wanted his almond water.
I
He
just
wanted that almond milk.
But yeah, that was the day. I don't grow almonds, kids. Unless you want your bin thrown down
Of all the
hallway.
things to grow.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. That was almonds, yeah. That's
Hey, yo,
wild.
almonds are actually pretty
Who
nutritious.
fucking knows?
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
That's why you eat them. You don't grow
We get in
them.
trouble over
Nutritious.
and have things thrown down the hallway.
Over almonds,
Almonds?
yeah.
Well, you grow them so that you can eat them more.
You'd rather it be like,
I've seen pettier.
movies
I'm
have a
gonna be
donut
real.
in your
It's
fucking
basic
box.
training. There's pettier shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, in my
Oh,
basic
there's also
training.
the story of how I was ironing my shirt on my body and I burnt my neck. I didn't do that.
Why were you ironing it on you?
I get that.
I burnt my neck.
He couldn't find an ironing board.
I had 2 minutes and it took me longer to take my shirt off and iron it properly.
I was about to say he had 2 minutes until he had to be shown up in his uniform, and he had to get that shit straightened out immediately.
Bro, we never
it
had
was-
to
it was a
iron
little
shit.
shorter.
We didn't have to iron shit.
know that. I
They
refuse to.
didn't let us touch our shit until the day we needed it.
I'm just gonna reach through you for my alcoholic beverage, don't mind me.
Oh, fair enough.
In basic, God, it was just we'd gotten tired of like the drill sergeants coming in every single fucking like day saying everything is garbage, destroying it, and then having us fix it before we had to go out. So we did it all the night before, and every fire guard did their utmost best to ensure that everything was cleaned and spotless, that everything was uniform, all the shoes were proper and everything. Come time for the morning, like everybody gets up and stands beside their bunk. The drill sergeant's walking through and just like slowly pans around, like, you know that weird like shark movement where they just keep moving and staring around.
They're like swimming. Yeah, they're like fucking doing these ones.
I know that.
And they go into the bathroom, and the bathroom's perfectly fine. It's cleaned. Everything is cleaned. But the drill sergeant shouts from the other side, from the bathroom, and we all hear it, and we're all just like, fuck, what was it? And they call in the bay leader. He goes in there, and the drill sergeant's talking to them. And we can hear, like, screaming and, like, yelling and whatnot. And when they come back out, the drill sergeant says, the drill sergeant just starts messing everything up again. And Then they leave to go and go downstairs to get everything else ready for what they're doing. The Bay leader tells us that it was only a couple of droplets of water in the sink that got them to just destroy our barracks and then have us do it all again.
Oh god.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Random question.
Yep,
But
I feel that.
Did
I feel
y'all
that.
have like stalls, or did you have like
We had
curtains
stalls.
on them?
We had
Stalls.
stalls,
Did you
but
have
none
actual
of them
doors
were
or curtains?
The
closed.
bathroom part or the shower
We
part?
had doors, but none
The
of them were
bathroom.
closed.
Oh, we just had straight up
Well, I mean,
curtains
so
on ours.
Really?
for us,
So,
we had the
similar to
both in
yours.
one section. Oh,
Yeah.
my bad.
No, you go. This is more relevant.
Yours is
Bathroom
also
had
at Sill, yeah?
Doors, but the showers were like right in front of the stalls, and that was the curtains. And yeah, that was just a.
Junior, you went to Fort Sill, yeah?
Yep. I was in
Yeah.
Echo 104.
Echo 103!
We had a
I only
corporal
have
who-
experience.
Yeah, I remember.
So
I
we
only
had a
have direct
corporal who
experience from
wouldn't-
Paris Island.
So they would measure the bed sheets to make sure they were like to inspection standard. But if they were to inspection standard, they would walk around with a ruler and just start whipping your beds to make sure they were tight. So all you hear from the rooms is whoosh, 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 whoosh.
That's one way to do it, I guess.
Did y'all have to have the? Did y'all have to have the folds on your bed
Oh
sheets?
god, the
Yes,
fucking
we have to have
fold.
we have to have hospital quarters. And they had
Yeah.
30 centimeters and 30 centimeters.
Junie,
What?
Explain to me the folds.
15-degree fucking angle and shit. I could not
think we
get
had
that shit to
45.
save my life,
I
to
think we
be
had
honest.
Can't be 45. Nope,
We had
because we like
45. We had 45.
they made
When
us
they're
do
done
14
with the
because they knew we could not
reminiscing.
make those shits right.
I could not do that shit to save my life, to be honest.
They only started fucking with me like when we got to Blueface the last few weeks, the last 3 weeks,
So,
and that's when they were just
I
like,
wouldn't
"Yeah,
have
no,
faces.
we're gonna start fucking with
Thing is,
people."
though,
so we
thing is, though, with those, they were very hard to crease. Were they like the grey ones you had, but they felt like shit?
no, mine were
they
very
were rough
easily
as
For the viewers at home
Ours-
and for Bear
fuck.
Pog
Ours
here,
were alright.
for the viewers at home and for Bear Pog here, what is a hospital corner?
Oh, a piece of shit that I never want to do again in my life.
A
No,
piece of
it's
shit that I will
basically-
never do again in my life.
It's basically a corner that is
Useless fucking shit.
folded. So it's basically folded, like at a 45 or whatever angle they dictate, and it creates a tight catch under the bed, and it basically pulls the shit
Yeah.
down. So it's like a seam line, like it's a seam fold
What's-
on the corner
what's
of the bed. It's
point?
it's fucked.
It's pointless.
It's so
It
it's
is
tight,
pointless,
so it's
but-
neat. It's
Yeah.
pointless.
It's so
But
that your
if,
bed
but
has
if
a
they see
it's
it,
to
if they
help
see
tighten
it
your
wrong,
beds.
they go ape shit.
UBass, did y'all get clipboards to tighten your sheet?
No. If
No.
we had money too, I didn't
No,
waste
no.
my money on that. I was told that
What'd
money
you-
gets
what was-
saved up
sorry,
and
I-
you can put it
yeah,
into your
what
next check. I was not spending no money on those cards.
Sorry, I thought. We're not. Wait, you're saying we're not meant to buy a Camaro the second they leave? Wait.
Oh, you.
Oh shit!
Are you
Shit! Fuck!
Sure
Shit.
you're not American?
Oh, Sammy!
Sure you're not American?
Hello there.
Hello, Sammy.
Bring Sammy in here.
Hello.
No, I did
That
have
is like
an
the most
idea about that, though.
American military I've heard. Go, basic
No,
trainee
so,
goes out
no,
from
so
basic
question.
to
Did you
Camaro.
guys? There you go. You go.
Were you guys like
Yeah, you-
banned from using half your fucking your bathroom?
No, because the other half of the bathroom is for females. So we had
That's
40
a-
dudes
Oh, that's
to
awful.
do the same amount of showering inside it. The time
My-
it took 5 females to go through.
My shit was all
So
male.
yeah, we had like 20-second showers. It was wild. But
Oh
no,
yeah, we had those.
No, but when in the morning, I don't know if you guys had like morning routine where it was like to a time.
Oh yes,
yeah.
we did.
So
it,
we were
was basically,
making.
it was basically just a line going through the fucking bathroom.
So
Oh, yeah.
we had 8 minutes to be so we had to come out into the hallway in the morning with our bed sheets over our left shoulder. We had to stand in the hallway, and then they would be like, "You have
fuck?
8 minutes. You have 8 minutes to be shaved in specific outfit, uniform."
Hello,
and
Serene.
have your beds made
Welcome to the
inspection
chat.
Standard. And you just see
Raise dreams.
the whole thing.
Well, yeah.
So you gotta Like 5 days, you're self-dressed, shaved, all your hair done up, inside 8 minutes. It was fucking wild.
One of those
Yeah, no,
fucking
that's-
morning. So for our pants, since we have like these things called blousing straps to keep our pant legs like kind of like folded in a certain way.
Oh my god, you guys got blousing straps?
yes.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the dude
I mean, I
fucking
didn't
next
like
to me
those.
stole one of my blousing straps because he lost his. I got fucking yelled at because one of my fucking pants were fucked up.
We don't have blousing straps. Ours are just bloused around our boots. So you blouse
Oh,
your
no.
socks.
I
Yeah,
never
we
used
have those.
blousing
And then you
straps
dash it
until
down
I got
over
to
your socks.
my duty
They
station.
should have. Well, yeah, because ours green would just flip the bottoms over the top and then just put them over straight over the boots. They just stayed there. They're nice.
Yeah, then you had to tie
Exactly.
the
No, we
boot
have,
like
like,
top
this-
to keep
Yeah.
the shits tucked in.
We in the Navy we
Alright,
have like this little stretchy rope fucking thing to do that.
I believe
In
Fox
the
still
Navy.
wouldn't
You know I was
to,
gonna join the Navy.
Oh,
say something.
Hmm? Foxtail.
it's a fucking experience.
Although I can tell you,
Alright, Kerry.
the worst thing. Look, so
Did you
I
wanna
only
say
had
something?
no drill
Something.
issues, like, because I was pretty, competent, but
it was
I
just a
fucking
mention
have
of Paris
PTSD
Island in their
from
bathroom.
bashes and group
Mm.
training.
They had stalls, but then
like,
they ended up.
legit. So,
Their
Retraining,
biggest
baby,
thing was the
retraining.
way they
yeah,
did
so doing that in
the showers. That's the way that weirded me out, because they basically did prison showers the whole way through, but then they tried to make it like seem as though it was personalized by like putting curtains down the center of it.
Bah.
These things.
Because I don't know whether I told you this story before. Like, because we were
I've
doing
showered
like
with
basher
enough
training in
things.
groups. So group
I have two.
3,
I don't.
we only had 2 bashers, but we had like 3 sleeping bags and they were full waterproofing. We had to get a camp set up ready for the night within a specific amount of time and be in our bashers ready. Fuck me, both the trees that we picked had like cracks and holes in them and fucking spiders everywhere. I hate.
Oh god.
It literally looked like cotton within the trees. I were like, okay, fuck it. Can we just go with this? We're gonna be sleeping with the slugs in a minute. So, like, we did not go at it. We just saw whatever 2 trees we could, thick ones, nice thick ones. 2 bashers. We fucking connected in the middle, going long ways. I decided to be a dumbass and sleep in the middle.
Why?
It rained that night. It rained.
Oh. I've
So you
heard
can
about
imagine that crease in the middle. Where do you think that water went?
In the middle, baby.
Yeah. Fuck me.
I got a
woke up at
really-
2 a.m. in a puddle.
I got a really fucked, like, a really fucked basic story regarding rain, specifically. And
Oh.
it was at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And it's a wetland there. It's a swamp. Everything is just bog. It's disgusting. I hated the humidity. I nearly died in it. It was just god awful.
Yeah.
It was during our during our first, I believe, no, second ruck march, where we went out into like the bayou essentially of the swamp, and we had to go and set up at a base camp in the middle of like this wooded area, and aside from the spiders that were everywhere and like the things that were crawling around trying to kill me, it was going to rain that day, and we knew it was going to rain. So we had to set up like the tarps over our tents and all that jazz and our bivouacs, and we had to set ourselves up in that way. And we still had to do fire guard because it's still obviously like a military site, so we had to do our thing to make sure nobody was going to go and kill themselves in the middle of the woods and never be found. It was my turn for fire guard, and I was on fire guard with like my good friend by the name of Mares, and he comes to wake me up, and I'm just like, I don't want to get up. I don't want to do this. I ain't going out there. And he's like, all right, I'll just cover for you, just sleep. And he's the goat. He was the best.
What a dude.
But
What a G.
like, I should have probably gone out there with him, because then it starts to like downpour with lightning and thunderstorm, and like it got so bad.
Damn.
It was kind of a good thing that he was on fire guard at that night, because it got so bad that lightning struck the tree that was right above his tent, and a large branch crashed down on his tent.
Holy fuck.
And his tent's right next to mine, and I was just asleep in there.
Fucking,
Wow.
Really?
fucking divine intervention.
Because I was supposed to go on. I was supposed to go on for Fire Guard, and he was supposed to get off to go to sleep. It was like we were trading off, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I can't fucking do it. I need sleep. So I was like,
Fucking saved the dude.
I stayed in my tent, and he had to stay out there. And that tree branch just crashed down right next to my tent onto his.
Oh, no.
Fuck.
And I had no idea until the morning because I was just so dead. I was dead asleep, just so exhausted. Thunder, lightning storm around me, perfect. I can't feel anything. I'm just gonna go to sleep.
Oh my god, wait. Did you guys have to swim during basic? Like get
Yeah,
sessions and
yeah,
whatnot?
yeah.
So
I don't think I did.
so we have a guy who just can't swim for shit. Like literally can't swim to save his life. And he's got this like fucking floaty strapped around his waist. And he's just kind of
How'd he get
flopping
through?
along.
Really?
And one of the the corporals literally come around. So we don't have drill instructors, we have recruit instructors, so like corporals. And
yeah.
they would literally come on their day off to watch him swim and laugh at him because it was funny as fuck.
Oh my god.
That's powerful.
We had a lot of people failing our swim test in fucking Navy basic.
Oh, gotta love a swim test.
Oh yeah.
Love a good swim.
Oh yeah.
Let's get a quick introduction and a hello to Peaceful Sammy. Here to see his now new brother.
Hello, Sammy.
Yeah.
Hello.
Dad?
He said brother,
What?
not fucking dad.
Father?
I adopted him because he looked lonely.
He's been adopted.
He was lonely.
Father-in-law?
I could have told you that.
Yeah.
Damn.
But he's also engaged now.
Father-in-law?
Oh,
Yeah, that did happen.
You and lots?
Yeah, Adrian and Zuma got engaged.
Adrian and Zuma.
Oh, okay, Adrian.
And Darren over there is the wedding planner.
Could do that, but
Oh fuck.
Oh god, I'm so sorry.
it'll be very quick.
Damn, you just got exposed, son.
Yeah.
What? Huh?
Speaking of which,
Oh, I thought you were trying to say something.
Does that mean I'm next, or am I still not
No.
allowed?
Never.
We'll see. We'll see.
Brother wins.
Depending on how much PTSD you got from the hentai dimension.
Oh
I'm
god.
still
give
don't
him
notice.
an
Is that a topic we're gonna have to go over? What exactly that dimension is?
The hentai dimension.
It's a fun place.
No, it's quite literally you just look up N hentai and just.
No, that's
get it.
that's the after action. That's the after podcast. You know, it goes on to OnlyFans where we talk about that stuff. So if you want an OnlyFans,
Syndicast that.
Syndicast After Dark.
I'm gonna go piss in this
Become Ace.
God.
You said become ace.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go piss in a bush.
Is that permission?
Bush
Got it.
type of shit.
Bushes are over there.
Piss in this one.
Not that one. That one outside, right there. That one in the corner.
Oh god, it just started raining outside.
It's begun.
I hate when it pours here in Florida.
No, but wait, I find it so relaxing when it rains. If you
I-
have skyline like windows as
When it
well, the
rains-
pattering of the
Depends on what type of
Yeah, but
rain.
dude,
Okay, when it rains, it pours. When it pours, it thunders here. And
I love
fucking
thunder.
hate lightning because I've been strucken almost by lightning like 4 times growing up. So I,
don't
do
know
not
why, but
like
I've got a
lightning.
weird. Okay, I don't know whether
Yeah.
I just have a weird
Lightning
addiction,
has
but when I
almost
go
hit the car
past
my
an
family
electric
3 different
fence, like you know, for cattle and all that on farms, you have the electric fence. I have a tendency just to grab onto it. And go, yeah, I know.
That's so
I
many
don't know.
volts going
It's
to
just
your
so weird.
body.
It's
on the
curiosity, like
You're
curiosity.
psychotic.
No.
You're
No.
a fucking cow at that
I
point.
wonder.
What the fuck?
It's like a light jolt. basically.
Man's
No, it's
goes
weird.
up
No,
to
Cow is.
man goes up to cat like electric fences and just grips them for the pure sexual thrill of gripping electricity.
Listen,
He does it when he
live in the moment.
Live in the moment. Grip the lightning.
Knowing you're gonna do something that's gonna get yourself. You're just gonna get yourself killed. You're gonna have this
Grab your
powerful
lightning,
transition right into
Jack.
the afterlife. Just nothing special. Just powerful.
Jack, you really took The Lightning Thief to heart, didn't you? It was a great book, right?
I mean, did you watch the movie? It's a great movie. I mean,
Don't lie to me. Don't lie to my face.
second movie.
The movie was not the best compared to the book. Nowhere near.
Hey yo, but the second movie was obviously better, you know.
Riptide.
Junie, I
I'll
will come over
fucking
here and rip
beat
your head
you.
off.
This isn't hot
The
takes
second
yet.
movie wasn't even half the fucking movie the first one was.
Second movie, they tried condensing all of the books into one.
Oh god.
And they had like 2 new cat members for the main cast.
Do you want to explain that noise?
Listen,
Wait, what? Wait, what? 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 What?
talking about lightning.
I was making a
Oh my
statement. Sammy made his little noises that he makes
Oh, the
when
No,
yips.
he's
that didn't happen.
this character.
It's live on several
when he's
streams.
Ace. I know.
that doesn't
so I
happen.
moved
It
my
doesn't
character's
exist.
face. It's like, do you want to explain it?
It doesn't,
I
it
don't
doesn't
know whether
exist.
I didn't even hear anything. Maybe did you hear anything?
I got confused. I
It
thought they
was
were
like
talking
a
about the
little,
people
like,
behind
puppy
us.
whine.
Listen, well, I think I just
No.
zoned it out at this point. I'm used to it.
Hello.
We're used to you, Sammy, and we're glad that you're here.
Hi. We're at the peanut gallery.
Why are you zooming into my
Run.
face? Zoom in on
Right.
Sage's face. Sage, look up.
Run.
I don't
Right, what topic were we going?
What the fuck are y'all doing over there?
Stories.
Hey,
Ah, yes.
Messing with the
And
camera, I
the
think.
Goose is back, so we can continue.
So,
oh, that's a big gun.
you being distracted.
I had a
Distracting.
I'm always distracted.
So,
Hey, look, I
I
have
guess
some.
reference. I was what's known as like a milk
So,
like some dude
Nice.
Bear sizes.
who like
Bark.
Here's the question:
is
How many
supposed
times
to
did you guys see
handle, like,
people
records for fucking
drop from locking their knees during basic?
Oh, I was one of those people.
What?
I watched the drill sergeant.
It was a mix. I didn't fall unconscious completely,
Yes. Holding the
but like I was extremely exhausted and dying in the humidity. It was like the first, because we were holdovers for reception, so like because so many people had joined into the basic training cycle that I was in at the same time, that there were literal holdovers for the reception battery that would then take us to our actual like basic training battery or platoon, and we were in formation underneath essentially like this like TP like a metal grated roof, and the heat was just coming through the metal, but it was all shaded underneath, and it's humid as fuck, so every breath you take is like breathing in a swamp. You're getting microwaved from above you, and like me trying not to be the one who is too obviously outside of like the normal for everybody else that's there. I try to like keep myself as at position of attention as possible. So I didn't know about the locking knees thing. I wasn't anywhere medically intelligent prior to joining into the military. So I didn't know that if I lock and I like clench my legs too long, I could pass out. And it was like all of these things coming together didn't really help with the fact that I had had heat stroke several times prior before in my life. So it's just me like on my way of like getting unconscious in this formation. I didn't fall completely, but I had to take a knee and, you know, look as if I was drinking water to like hide the pain of like I'm gonna fall over and I'm gonna be the one who gets called out.
Oh no, I have seen people pass out on the march. It is fucking sad.
Literally,
So
I had a
bad.
dude. I had a guy in my platoon who was 6'8", and we were marching back from PT, and you see him just I'm gonna stand up for this one. You see him marching, and then you just see him just start like a giraffe, just start falling over, and you're like, oh no, he's going. Like 5 of us broke rank to catch him because he was just going, and we're like, fuck. Like a broke rank, like catches falling over. Anyway, but then there was another one where he was in the lines, like we're at like the end of the night and we're doing like hallway and everything like that. And he's like, Corporal, I see stars, and he starts falling over. The Corporal just walks up, holds him by the chest, by his fist, just against the wall, just pinning him against the wall. And he's like, and he's out at this point, and the Corporal just slowly releases him down to the floor, and he just kind of lays on the floor, and it's just like...
Things don't know. I know the feeling. I know exactly the feeling. Because you're walking off, when you're just walking for miles with this huge fucking bag on your back, uphill ways, this like, you know that buzzing feeling that you get? Where it's like, it's almost like you can hear it in your ears. I was going like, oh fucking hell. Don't fall over. Otherwise you'll
The
get
sound Jack is talking
shouted
about
at.
is like when it's fucking hot and you hear the air boiling. That's like the fucking point that you're hearing it.
The thing is, it's not you hear it, you can feel it as well. It's just like a kind of like a white noise sound
Tinnitus.
that you get. Yeah.
I see stars.
Tinnitus.
Yeah, the tinnitus.
Yeah, I definitely have that.
I think-
Heard anything
Always
like
pronouncing that.
that, but so in Navy, basically, like right before we fucking graduated, we do this thing called battle stations.
Of course, it
We're
would
up
be the
entire
Navy
day.
who didn't feel that. Carry on.
So we're up the entire day, and then like throughout their night, we were just doing like non-stop drills on like basically this fucking Disney park ride shit. And then they keep us up the entire day prior. It's literally a thing
not
made by
joking, it
Disney
is
to
quite literally.
simulate a ship. And it's like the whole premise is the ship's under.
They got to go on the Disneyland cruise, and I had to go and swim through Louisiana.
It's not a cruise.
I'm not even joking with you. It's not,
you guys have those
but it's quite
simulation
literally a
ships?
mock representation
Yeah,
of the ships
it's a
and things
simulation
like
ship.
that.
Yeah, we have those.
It is
too.
fucking
It's a
insane.
simulation.
Junie, we should have chose
It
something
flies,
better.
You have to replace pipes, fires. all
We
that
deserve better.
Oh yeah, we had to.
Air Force,
like,
Air
oh,
Force,
yeah, no.
baby.
Like there's this one part
still
where
want
like, we're
to
moving
visit.
ammunition from one room that's flooding into another room that's not flooding. But
Probably
so we were
would've
doing
been
that the
in.
entire night, and then we're marching back, and I was basically the entire time we were marching, I was just almost passing out. No, there was a few times where I did pass out, but I was like still marching.
Yeah, your body's unconsciously just moving
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I
'cause have some-
remember when
because
we
I.
were- Go
Oh,
ahead.
carry on now. I was gonna say because my dad was actually a submariner, but he was actually like in the subs, and pretty much he has a lot of
Hey,
stories
yo.
that he told me about. Good. So, an entire like platoon of him lot got fired when they went to the US one time because it pretty much it almost because they had to stay there for ages. And they got fucking high as all hell, and by the time they were getting
Oh,
back,
Nice.
a load of them were still high.
I
So
fucking heard
they were not
stories
able
about
to.
that.
Yeah, they got absolutely slammed, and pretty much my dad, he didn't do any drugs, luckily, but he just watched as the other lot just kind of just got put aside. And he's like, "All right, we're going home."
Yeah, I've heard stories of like the bases where like the British go in the U.S. where like a bunch of British and American sailors are getting caught for like meth and coke and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
See,
Sounds about right though.
I'm more of a Pepsi guy myself.
why?
For me,
That's
I can only
worse.
say I experienced because of Paris Island. They had to stay there for 3 weeks just to experience half of what boot camp was like. And when we were there, I watched, I think 7 or 8 people just fucking pass out. One of them, we ended up staying for like the graduation ceremonies, and we actually got to stand there alongside the graduation. And I watched 4 kids pass out during that, just hit the fucking tarmac face first. 2 others was on the range. They ended up. Okay, Marines are fucking insane. Their range, they keep like actual fucking mud and shit there. And I watched 3 kids fall headfirst into mud. The other
we're
one
talking about
was when we were
range
first
day.
getting to Paris Island.
But yeah, go for it.
Yeah, but they fell
I got it.
headfirst into it. Like
I got some
we
stories
weren't
about
allowed
that
to
one.
break rank or anything. We had to wait for medical to go get them. None of us were allowed to. and these kids literally look like they were about drowned in that mud. I'm not joking with you. Their whole head was submerged.
Unfortunate. Skill
Also,
issue.
I'm not gonna lie, I loved range days. I loved range days. I absolutely loved them.
My
I would have loved range days, except the entire time we were training with it, we weren't allowed to use actual guns until the actual test.
Wait, so you weren't able to use blanks or anything?
No, they gave us like little fucking laser pointers, basically.
Seriously?
The Marines had those ones. They had laser rifles that you got to sit in simulation, and then they actually had the actual range.
simulation ones, we got the air rifles, and like we went into that like that shed, and we just shot like the air rifles onto the wall.
The fucking sheds.
I know, but range day
Because we had that.
was an exhausting fucking time.
I like the actual.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The reason I like range day.
No, I wasn't ever on range duty, but I nearly got killed by a negligent discharge there.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yes. Hold on.
I ended up enjoying going for that because I was on my school's rifle team. I have my NRA certification.
Disgust.
Just because I was on my school's rifle team.
That.
I'm fucking marked as elite marksman. I don't care.
During range day. So, two things with it. I'm usually supposed to wear glasses, so I don't wear glasses because fuck that. But
yeah.
I'm able to do things better without my glasses than I would be with them, and it showed during our practice on the range when I was missing every shot because I had to have my glasses on, and the drill sergeant came over and says, "Chinese, what are you doing, guy?" And like I'm just like, "Drill sergeant, I can't see the target properly," and I tell him the glasses are wrong, drill sergeant, and he's like, "Take them off, see how you can do that, guy," because. He's a weird fucking drill sergeant. Now, if you want stories about that guy, that guy's a whack boy. His name is Drill Sergeant Sargent. His last name is Sargent.
Wow. We can probably do that. We can probably save that topic for another night.
I had him.
You had the
Do you know this dude?
No, what I've heard stories of a drill sergeant just being a goof.
He's
We thought it was a meme. Like we thought it was a meme.
no. Do y'all want that story over the negligent discharge story?
Yes.
No. Continue this.
Sergeant.
Continue this.
Sorry,
Sergeant.
yeah.
Continue this.
Here we
first.
go.
Yeah, that person.
I'll continue and I'll do both of them. I got you. What's up, Darren?
Yeah.
Liam, what do you mean? Don't you dare say that.
Gotcha. So the ND, we were on. I noted that my eyes, got awful. So I'm just going. I'm fine. I'm shooting the rifle. I'm actually hitting the target in a grouped area. I'm perfect. Go into our test for the range day, and they have us. What's it called? They have us wait behind the mound that people go onto it. So like, there's a giant mound, and the range goes that direction. Like, this is the mound.
Yeah, like the staging area.
All of that direction is the range if you're looking on the table. And you're supposed to, like, stay proned down behind the actual hill. And when they finish their rifle, then you go up. This dude, this dude was in front of me. He did his his shots. And when he goes to go into the crouch position, he has his rifle off to the side. And I'm down to the side, and because that's where I'm supposed to be. And this dude, when he gets up, he twists his body slightly to the side when getting up because he's got to, and his fingers on the trigger, and he shoots behind himself.
Oh no!
And the impact was just right next to me. Like if I were here, the shot would have been right up here. And it would have been 1,000 times worse if it was just a couple of inches to the right, my right, his left, because that's where the concrete is. Which means I would have gotten shrapnel in the face by concrete and the ballistics.
Wait, he did. Wait, hang on, wait, hold on. Did he drag his gun across the floor?
No, he was.
I would have got in shit if that happened.
If I feel like I have to put my full body on to show this, but like he was in the crouch position with his rifle off to the side, and when he was getting up, he twisted to get up. Like he leaned on one leg and got up.
Oh god.
Why the fuck
is
is
this
his
thing
finger
in the hell?
so...
Zero.
That's
Off
not
safety.
safety.
What the fuck?
Oh, they destroyed him. They came over. They thought it was me. I was like, I didn't do nothing, Joe. Sorry to do. It was that guy. And they take him off.
Similar.
Similar story. We had a guy
Happened to the guy.
who was again rifle practice, and he gets up and he's after his cereals, so he was like in the unload position, like he was doing the unload, and he's mag off, but he hasn't cleared. He's still got a round in the chamber.
Oh.
And his fingers
God,
on
no.
the trigger still. So he goes like this. So he pulls down like this. The barrel's nearly pointing at his head at this point.
Oh
And it goes bang.
Pissed himself.
To the
Dude must
fucking
have pissed himself.
to the rifle range.
Oh my god.
Holy fuck.
That is wild.
Trigger discipline is wild, isn't it?
It's wacky.
See,
My friend got shot in
that's
his
why-
plating during one of the range days.
I am so glad I haven't seen any misfires happen.
Wait,
I have.
Yeah, I haven't either,
Like,
thankfully.
did you all have?
Listen,
did you guys have like a combatives program you had to do during basic?
Yes.
Like a
Oh,
like
yeah.
basic combatives.
Yeah.
program? So we
Yeah,
had that,
no.
but like
Yeah.
it was a super hot day, and we were all super dehydrated, and we're wearing helmets, and we're basically told to headbutt each other. And we got back to the barracks afterwards,
Oh.
and we were all so dehydrated, we had massive splitting headaches for hours afterwards.
Oh,
We
no.
had
I'll tell you what,
50
no.
people just like
I'll tell you what they did with us. They put us all in a big circle, and they had huge boxing gloves. They did not care whichever one they said you out. They just drag.
No.
They just tell you to go out, and they pick another pit. Yeah, you're staying in there until you fucking go down.
We did that with the grappling.
No, Paris
sessions.
Island
Yeah.
combatives was
We had
really
the same
fuckety.
thing, Yeah.
Yeah.
It was they basically
didn't
had
have
an
any of that shit.
octagon, but then they had a whole fucking course around it also. You had climbing wall, you had the rope swing to fucking get across a trench. Like there was a ton of shit to it. And then once you get to the octagon, you had to fight until you fucking won. If you did not win, I watched a kid lose like 14 matches in a row against them and grown fucking adults. Like literally getting the shit knocked out of them.
Yeah. No, there's no
And they just
playing around
kept
in
having
there.
to go.
Man, I fucking hated my combatives. We had to do like a wrestling portion in some like giant ass like barracks like warehouse thing. We also had to do like
in the mats.
yeah, the mats too, and the pugil sticks.
Pugil sticks.
Yeah,
Fucking yeah.
we had to do that,
Fucking
and I hated both of these things, cause the first one. Listen, they put me against the Nigerian from Nigeria who has been training with his spear to kill things for like his entire life. And there's just this dude who's only known how to play his keyboard. Like, they just beat the fuck out of me.
You just gotta do your thing, man.
I fucking hated that dude.
Didn't have anything like that.
We had like these sticks, and I just wanted to fucking like beat his head in. But like, I'm just god awful.
They get hand combat.
If they
They don't touch that with heavy hand.
I swear to God, they purposely picked the biggest guy and the smallest person. Like, it's so.
That's what happened to me.
They did that with me.
They
I was lucky.
during
I was lucky.
oh my god.
I got very lucky.
But like during our wrestling, the what's it called? They knew that I was not the athletic type of person at all. And they knew I never did a sport in my life.
Oh, no.
So they put me up against the 2-time state champion of that like specific state that he was a part of, wrestling champion. And I got my spine bent in half, just like trying not to die.
So, I got some wrestling stories actually. This was like right when we got to basic, so like not even the what what's the first period called before you go to the actual starting your basic, like recession?
Reception.
Reception, yeah.
Like reception. Thank you. So during reception period, y'all seen, you've seen Andrew. You've seen what I look like. So you've seen I'm kind of scrawny. I'm lean, but I'm not big.
No, you have a build to you. You have a build to you.
Yes, but compared to most of these other people in there,
you've got shit
and
on
also
that.
peeping.
I'm gonna be serious.
And like the first day I showed up, I didn't show up in like regular clothes, like in like a t-shirt and stuff. I was in like some formal set, like a nice sweater shirt and some slacks. So talking about anime the whole time, so they thought I was a nerd.
Oh, I did not rock up in a suit.
We were vibing. We were just talking about sports and wrestling because we knew that we were gonna have to do combatives. And the topic came up with
Jerky boy.
do it in here in the barracks.
Focus. I'm trying to hear what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I see like 2 matches. One of these big dudes that was just sweeping people in the barracks, just in these wrestling matches. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Getting excited because I used to do football. I even did wrestling for a little bit. I just stopped because I didn't have fun. But it was fun. I was like, okay, cool. Hey, yo, let me get in on this. Let me see if I can beat you, because everybody else seems to be losing. Man looks at me, looks me up and down, and starts chuckling. Is like, okay, sure. I'm like, bet. Get into a nice little position. As soon as I hear go, immediately go for his legs, pin him. I'm like, yo. Everyone's like, wait. How are you this good? Why you this good? Nah, I used to play football. I used to do sports. And stuff. Oh. I'm just like, so everything's like every other like before we went to basic at the end of reception, like I guess like 2 o'clock in the morning, we would just start wrestling, and everyone was like, okay, cool. Let me go fight the skinny dude. Let me get him. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Just chilling out, talking about anime. So like, all right, cool. Let's go.
There you go.
It got to a point where the reception drill sergeant was yelling at us because we were making too much noise, so we had to stay up and clean the fucking barracks before we had to go to formations. This shit was
no.
I got a question for y'all. Did y'all have dudes like at the end of the day, like right before I was trying to go to sleep, like giving speeches in the fucking room?
Oh yeah. Yes.
No. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, we told them to shut up. I'm tired.
So we had a guy in my room who would go to everybody else's room and give them either a speech, a joke, or they would kiss them on the forehead, and then they would move to the next room.
What the fuck?
What the
No, we had the one guy. Okay, since ours was like a mixture of adults and kids, they ended up having like one guy from our school and the unit who were like hardcore Christians. I'm not even joking with you. And they'd go around at the end of the night and like reading the Bible to everyone there. It's like, what? This is a fucking Bible Belt for you, dude. This is like fucking key representation.
Mango, I got a question for you. You saying y'all got like rooms? Like, how big were these rooms? Like, how many people were in the rooms?
5 to a room.
We had our entire fucking division of like 50 people in one room.
Unit was in one.
We had
I was gonna say 30, 40 to a room.
12 rooms of 5.
Oh no, we had one big fucking room.
No,
that everyone had a big room.
We had like big rooms of like 40 people, 40 plus.
Yeah. We shared a room with another battalion, or battery. I mean, sorry.
No, it was 5.
It was us 3 and
that's what I'm fucking
and the
saying.
others.
Like, there's one dude fucking preaching to 40 plus people trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
My God.
5. What the hell?
We fucked up today, guys, but we'll do better tomorrow.
No,
Ours was a guy from New York.
Um.
Our guy who did the speeches was a guy from New York named Ortiz, and he was like, "Hey guys, come on, boys! Next time we get it right? Too easy, right?" And it's just like, he was fucking weird.
No, there were 2 things because I didn't actually get to mention these 2. When it comes to you guys mentioning like the food in the barracks, because Gary mentioned the throwing of almonds. I watched one person bring a whole Subway sandwich back and put it in their Foot Locker.
Oh God, no.
We had a dude fucking
Not
take
joking with you. Put a
fucking
whole
peanut butter and jelly packets from the fucking kitchen.
No, we got one free day halfway through our trip. And the guys, everyone's there going to the bowling alley. And they literally brought a whole ass fucking Subway sandwich, ham and turkey, put it in their Foot Locker for the next morning. Sergeant
God
comes in,
damn.
goes straight to their fucking Foot Locker and calls them out.
That's pretty much.
Straight to their fucking...
Hey, Grant.
That's literally
What's up?
that's after the firing range.
Do you remember how much of Fort Sill did you go to, or was it just basic?
I went around. I mean, we had to go to the hospital thing, so I've been around.
Oh, so you've been to Ratch?
Hmm.
Did you see the bowling alley?
No, I did not. I was only there for the training portions.
Okay. Well, if you've been to Ratch, then you were across, like right across from there was where one of my barracks were for one of my batteries.
Mm. See, ours was Echo Battery like 30, and what?
Sorry, curious sake, said a question.
Ours was Echo Battery like 131 or something. I don't fucking remember it. Numbers to me never stuck. But we had.
Right.
Y'all wanted the story about Drill Sergeant Sargent. The greatest drill sergeant that has ever, like, him and the entire, like, drill sergeant team that was over us, they were kind of badass, because our senior drill sergeant was, had the name of Moore, and they were a thick, blonde woman who was a combat medic, and it was very good. It was a very good time when they came around, because they kind of had that like that Dommy Mommy-esque type of personality that you knew if like in a different land it would have been pretty whack. I'm just saying. But oh, now you're interested. You just got up for this.
Yeah, I did. I was dissociating watching a YouTube video and I heard the two magic words.
Oh wow.
She was a brick house, but they had a team which was consisting of Drill Sergeant Rogers, Drill Sergeant Kraft, and Drill Sergeant Sargent. Drill Sergeant Rogers was a drill sergeant who just didn't give a fuck. He literally one day he came into the barracks or the bay, and he just grabbed the fire watch chair and just dragged it over into the middle of the room and sat it down and said, "Privates, I don't give a fuck what you do. Just don't wake me up." And then he literally just like hung his head and fell asleep in that chair. And he just vibed.
So I had a corporal come in and he was like, "I am too hungover for this shit. Shut the fuck up and don't wake me up." He closes the door and goes to bed.
What the hell?
And see, Drill Sergeant Rogers was a great like parallel to Drill Sergeant Kraft. Because Drill Sergeant Kraft, he looked like Bobby Hill if Bobby Hill actually went to the military and was like an active person. And he was the hype man. He was the hype man type of drill sergeant where he's like, he has the most energy. And he told us a story of like where he was on deployment in Afghanistan and they were on a gate guard. And he was talking about how this like a Afghani person came over the hill with a bunch of sheep and started walking towards them, and he's like, "Fucking stop!" And he was like holding up his rifle to them, and it made the guy piss himself. It was Drill Sergeant Kraft was the badass type of like hype dude, but all of that could only be encompassed by the greatness and the weirdness of what Drill Sergeant Sargent is. Drill Sergeant Sargent was a pale, ginger-haired guy with buck teeth who looked like a squirrel. And he had an extreme fascination with squirrels, where he said, like one time during like our marches, he said, "Chinese, if you ever see a squirrel in the field, you'll be fine." And like we get it because like a squirrel, like small animals, rodents aren't going to be around if there's a lot of activity, if there's a lot of movement of people. They're not going to be there. We got what he meant, but it was so weird for him to just say that out of the blue. And it's just like, how can we tell there's going to be squirrels in Oklahoma desert, like forest thing? And this dude in his
You don't. That's the fucking point.
in his way, Drill Sergeant Sargent was the most wise type of guy, but so weird because he just had so many weird things that he did. Like, aside from having buck teeth and looking like a squirrel, having extreme fascination with squirrels, Drill Sergeant Sargent was also like the kindest one. Because Drill Sergeant Rogers didn't give a fuck about you. Like he got demoted to be a drill sergeant because he was above, like he was a senior drill sergeant, and he did some fuck shit and had to come into our battery. And
Fuck.
Drill Sergeant Sargent was I think he was a cook at one point. And you can kind of tell where his level of intelligence probably might have led, if not for the fact that the army existed. But he kind of looked like Sid from Ice Age.
Oh no, Ice Age.
We've had one of those people. We've had a Sid.
He always loved to sing the Tiny Bubbles cadence. He loved the Tiny Bubbles cadence. Tiny bubbles in my wine makes me happy, makes me feel fine.
I love that.
What's up?
You American Squadron sounds fun, damn.
It was god awful. I hated everybody there.
Depends. It really depends on who you get, because the drill sergeant we had over us in Paris Island, there were 3 people joking about the Marines actually being crayon eaters, and they're like, we're not going to be one of those. Drill sergeant comes in the next day with a fucking pack of crayons and makes them all choose a crayon. This is their favorite color from that day on.
I mean, although I tell you what though, if you had not, okay, so they could fucking tell whether someone had showered or not. If you hadn't showered, they had this big fucking brush. They would literally make you strip off in the bath. They're fucking. It hurt like fuck. I felt the prison. It was.
Oh. Yeah, I was about to ask. You know that?
No.
I didn't get it. Don't worry, I made sure I didn't get it. But they were.
You just say you
felt like shit. No, I touched it. I was like feeling what the fuck, how it felt. I was like, oh, I don't fancy that. Because they literally hold it out to you like, what is? What were you all like? Am I...
Keep in mind this: you touched a brush that multiple unsanitary.
Oh, I know somebody's ass has been on that. I know where that's been. I didn't care. I was just like, fucking.
By the way, Grand, you never said what happened to the guy who almost shot you.
He was never allowed to fire a rifle again in that. He was never allowed to fire a rifle again. And it was... I think he was pulled off. And I don't know what happened because it was a part of a different, battery entirely. I also didn't care. I hated a lot of the people that I was in my platoon with.
Makes sense.
Isn't that
Although, did you ever have that one person?
Yeah, it is. What's up, Jack?
So while you're in shoot, have you ever had, when you're in prone, have you ever had that, that one person who went on inspection training when I said, misfire has occurred, someone fucking struggled to turn all the way onto their side just to pull the cock back to fucking open the chamber. They can't reach. I'm just like, oh, you poor bastard. I feel so sorry for you. Because it's just looking at his poor bucket. Yeah, no, yeah, because it's literally misfire, training, because if it fires, if it misfires first time, yeah,
Stop
so
it,
yeah, you fucking
don't look.
check, push, pump both times, check again, still with misfires, pull it back. Ooh, you have out of ammo.
I think it's just me then, because a lot of the people I was with, we were from South Carolina and we all shot rifles. But then there's the thing that our school had like a nationally certified rifle team. So none of us actually ever had that problem. We all were fucking competent on the range.
Oh no.
They didn't have to worry about
My
us, like
struggled.
Fort Sill was struggling for a lot in my time. My rifle, it got so destroyed that I had to pretend that it wasn't. That the inside like firing pin had cracked the the bolt in like it had chipped away lots of like bits of the bolt, and I kept them on me in the case that I had to like give them somewhere. But this thing somehow still fired, despite the fact that its internals were literally decaying and eroding from itself.
Destroying what?
What's up?
No.
When you
I
had to
like
do
shooting the right. I was gonna say,
Sorry,
I like
sorry, I was
shooting
gonna
the
say,
right,
when-
my aim was god awful.
I like
So,
just
did you have a
having people
specific
like
amount of-
compared to us.
So when you did weapon dismantling and cleaning, did you have a specific amount of time that you had for that?
We just did those on Sunday because it was just like, just waste your time doing that instead of actually existing and enjoying
We
life.
had a full training day of doing that. We just had a fucking stopwatch. Who could do it the quickest and tidiest? And if it touches the floor, you do a fucking laugh because
Yeah.
We didn't do that. That's because we have specific jobs that do that in the Navy.
I remember us having to go through that, like physically strip searching everything.
Imagine having
It
specific
was-
jobs for being a
fucking
janitor.
Fun. The hardest part
Oh, no,
about
that's
it,
every
though,
job.
when that was going on,
Yeah.
Jack,
Fucking clean.
was the fact I watched so many people put in parts that shouldn't have gone in the order they did, and we kept timing each other. And it was nice just to watch and be able to call out the people like their gun's gonna misfire. Like looking at it and like knowing, hey, that's gonna misfire. You might want to take it apart. And they're like, what do you mean? It's like they put this part before this part, and that's not how that fucking goes. And they're like taking apart, screaming at these people.
it wasn't actually the mantling part of the weapon that people struggle on the most. When I was watching it,
Grand.
people actually
What?
struggled most with the straps. When
Sage has a
doing the straps,
question.
they kept look at the buckle up. Which fucking way did that go?
No,
They put it on. It just fucking
Twisted as shit.
Yeah.
This is twisted as shit. Yeah.
Well, what's Sage's question?
Oh, it was a two-parter. One, I actually don't know how long basic training lasts, out of curiosity.
3
And
months?
two, how long were each of you? 3 months, okay. And two, how long were
Yeah.
each of you guys in service or in?
I'm still in.
A couple of days.
Good man. It's like 7
Years.
weeks. 7 weeks.
So I was actually I'm not
6 years, baby.
because I was in reserve Remy. So I'm not currently in. I did my stuff, but I am trained.
I think Junie said like
I only went through RTC, but I was at the base for 5 weeks.
I had 3 and 3.
See, I in high school I signed up for, like I was going to sign up for the reserves because haha pay for college and all that.
I mean,
and then my parents basically advised me against it, so I didn't do it. But it's been like 5 years now. To this day, every other month, I still get an email from that same sergeant asking me if I still want to sign up. The same exact sergeant.
You'll get that every single time.
fucking recruiting duty? What the fuck?
It
Not
depends. Some
fuck.
people
It's
sign up just to
his name's,
continue
like,
doing it.
Sergeant, like or something.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But
I had a deal on my boat going
one thing
to
though,
I'm like, the
when you do
dedication,
sign up though,
man.
well, the thing is though, when you're doing reserve, you're not necessarily you're literally there as reserve. It's only if
Yeah.
it's necessarily required to go in will you have to actually go out onto the field. But like,
I doubt
it's a good
I
experience to
doubt I would've
actually
taken it
have.
anyways, because I have club feet. I have flat foot
Mm.
and club foot.
For us,
Yeah, but there's ways around
reserves
that.
has you
Shoes.
show up.
Yeah, I did cross country and track for multiple years on purpose to basically build up a tolerance and build up the muscle down there.
For us, at least for the Navy, reserves requires you come in like once a month for drills duties, and it's like sometimes you get sent out to help out a boat for some shit. That's really about it, though.
It was Army
Yeah.
Reserve. I think it said I think it was like a weekend a month or something, and it was gonna be for like IT and networking. network security because I had already chosen computer science as my major at that point.
A teacher who did reserves for Coast Guard.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That one was a
I
joke.
heard that actually pays well.
It does. It definitely does.
That was a joke.
Dude was making like teacher pay
Or has-
plus Coast Guard pay, which was nice.
Bro, Coast Guard is much better than Navy. They only got for like 3 weeks max.
Well, it
What
depends on
depends?
what corps you're in. If you're actually on dock or whether you're actually in sub where you're under for months.
Coast Guard doesn't go subs.
Coast
at
Guard
least
is
not here.
just boat.
No, that's a Navy.
Boat.
Yeah.
I know some countries
Coast
use
Guard
it for like
just
fucking
monitor
coastal shit, but
territory, like border, right?
yeah.
And they deal with domestic issues.
I've heard they go to some countries, like outside countries, sometimes, but it's not common.
Probably like
It
on specific
varies.
missions or details.
Yeah.
It's if there's a
I
problem
know like when
at
there's
the
natural
borders.
disasters, they're the one that are called in, right?
Normally, yes.
Yeah.
Coast
I
Guard
didn't
is
know.
normally
What was
considered that emergency force. Sometimes they're pulled from other branches also. Like
I
Puerto
mean,
Rico's
if you
whole
hear that
things, the
FEMA's
last few
getting called
hurricanes,
in, then that's
Navy
really
and
bad.
Yeah.
Coast Guard were there.
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't
Reminds me
know
of,
that kind of aspect.
Semi-unrelated, but talking about Coast Guards and emergencies, you guys know about like those emergency coffins that they have in Ohio from like FEMA for like national emergencies?
Yes.
What?
That shit's horrifying.
I do not know.
to think about that.
Never heard of that.
It's either Ohio or Idaho. I don't remember off the top of my head, but in case of like a major national emergency, like say like millions and millions of people die, they have like a whole it's like acres of like farmland that are like these emergency not even mass grave. They're like these almost like you can like pop them open coffin kind of things, like portable coffins, like they're foldable.
Portable coffin.
What the hell?
Yeah, no, I'm not joking. I'm not joking about this. It's hold on, I got.
Oh, the goose left us.
And we lost a man.
Poor boy.
$1 billion worth of disposable coffin.
He says he's got to get going.
I see.
Understand.
No trouble.
Well, there is a seat vacant if anybody
love.
wishes to come take a seat.
Let's see. What are our current topics?
Let me see here.
Nuclear weapons.
Our
I
current
was
topic
I
educated
don't
is
even want to have nuclear brought up to me.
Update-
That was a whole fucking thing.
the update to the role plays. Next topic.
Ooh.
Oh God.
Do you mind if I talk in Discord because my mic game really fucking sucks.
Go for it. Updates to roleplay.
Oh, did bear pod?
We have to deal in. Oh God. Well, can I still hear myself?
Accent's even worse on Discord.
Can't hear Darren. Oh well.
No.
Let's see here. Updates to the roleplay. We gotta do some progression events, and I need to write them out, or have somebody write them for me. Because we've gotten a lot of big things that have been happening recently that need to be written. What does that say, me?
Biggest thing is I just need you to give a day that you want to sit down for that.
As soon as possible.
Well, the thing is,
You
though,
told
I
me
reckon there
last
should
time
be
to remind
three-
you, I reminded you, and we never did it.
Yep. Yep.
I reckon there
Yeah.
should just be like one specific day where it's just an entire staff team have a full-on chat with a fucking notepad saying updates on RP. Just one whole day. Like, imagine that, just an entire circle.
Primarily staff things, though.
That's what I meant. That's why I said stuff.
In terms
just
of like
sounds like
the
lore
updates,
meetings.
he means like yes, yeah. What he means in terms of like the progression events is like, hey, what's going on in the world right now? Things like that. Things that we've seen happen, being like the Void Dragon. How is that affecting things?
Like Dracula coming back to Sanguea.
Ah, good old Dracula.
Good example.
Asher, 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 Asher squad. Sizzle, sizzle.
Right.
Yes.
Moriarty beat the shit out
I
of that
like now that I
man.
can just start tracking you with that.
It's like the NORAD Santa tracker that goes around.
The thing is, what did that name? Was that actually meant with that name? Did you ever think of that as actually being a genuine name, or did you just start making that sound as a joke and it just kind of stuck?
It was
Like,
originally
with that was.
Raz's original last name. Sammy, you're singing.
Wait, Raz?
It was originally Raz's last name, which was Razzer, 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 Asher, 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 Asher. And I just took the Asher, 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 Asher part, and I just put that to the bird, and just started adding noises that happened to him over time, where the first, like the sizzle, like the brr noise, the brr
That was
noise
from when,
was from
what's his name took him over.
Frank Yeager.
I remember all of
Yeager.
these points.
Yeah,
for
Jaeger
him.
taking a form of him.
Mm-hmm.
Each new part of his name is just.
I remember that's how we
know
ended
he's
up finding out that
progressed.
Jaeger was there at the radio room. Was we all kept hearing the bzz, bzz, which was Frank Yeager fucking glitching.
Yeah. Frank Yeager's the goat, though. He's cool. I like the character.
Because I never knew. I
When
literally never knew if that
Yeager
was just a
first
joke.
introduced-
Yeah.
How's that, Jack?
Because I legitimately didn't know whether that was an actual intention for a name or that joke just actually stuck. That it actually just became the full-on name of the radio dude.
The original name was intended, and then we just started adding. I just started adding things as time carried on, where the sizzle sizzle came from like the. I think it was the volcano exploding or Fuji going up and like being blown up. Or he was lit on fire or in a house fire or
That
something.
was
I don't
from,
remember.
No, 'cause
the
you
statement
brought
of
that up
so many
recently.
people are becoming things of fire.
Yeah.
It was the
Mm.
statement of
Like-
so many people wanting to be things of fire because
And he was like, I'm gonna
He's like,
add
I should
fire
add
too.
sizzle
and
sizzle to my name.
Sizzle sizzle. Sizzle sizzle. Yeah.
Sizzle sizzle.
Wait, where did this thought come from?
He's a
So
bird.
He ended that his first time too. Sizzle sizzle.
Oh, he is.
He's a bird.
I thought he was like a little robot thing that we saw that one time
He's a bird.
when he summoned Dracula.
He's got
The first time we
he's
ever-
got drones and he's
The
got
first time we ever met him
those
was
sorts of
during the
cameras that
scavenger
fly
hunt
around.
Drones?
Yeah, he's got
for-
Drones?
for the time
got
slot,
little iBots that fly around.
Strike things?
Yeah.
right?
No,
That
it
the
was
first time we met
him
him.
in drones. He was never actually there. That's why, like,
No,
every
no,
time
I
that Gran has
mean-
come around as him, I've been. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying the first time he ever like introduced himself
Sage?
like a radio broadcast. That was during the. Can you hear me? I was saying the
Yes, we can hear you.
first time. Oh, you said my name. I was confused. I thought the first time we ever heard from him or he made an announcement was during the scavenger hunt for the time stop. That whole shenanigan. Right with the clock tower.
No, it was just after we got back from Japan. Was the first time we heard
Yeah,
from
that-
him.
Yeah, that was like a week after.
It was the
Different
first
radio host.
It was before that.
It was definitely.
It was
Oh,
Tommy
okay.
Laveau.
Definitely a different radio host before. Yep.
Sorry to say, chaps, I
Mhm.
must
I don't
make my
remember that
exit.
one.
It is rather late.
Very well, Jack.
Oh.
Take care, Jackie.
Good night,
Night,
Jack.
night, Jack.
I still find it hilarious that
But-
it's.
When it.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna steal Marshall's. I'm gonna steal this seat.
I'm stealing Jack's chair.
Cool. And Poy's here.
has returned.
Yeah, I would have given you head pats if you asked. Man.
Let's get the boy in here. Poi.
Basic
I
Poi.
still find it like
Come here,
it was a little
Take a seat next to
jarring
me.
when I first joined because I
Hello,
joined
Poi.
the literal week after you all got back from Fuji, so everyone was still
This side,
recovering
Poi.
from it and talking about it, and no one was telling me what,
This side,
what
other
it
side.
was or what was going on. So for the first
Six,
month of
come on.
being here, I had no idea what
There you
Fuji
go.
was.
Hell, it's alright.
Fuji was fun.
Yeah, makes sense.
I
Fuji
had
was a
fun
very
even though I died.
interesting and fun time.
It was a time.
What aside? What, so if Fuji
know
was the
nothing of what you
biggest
speak
event
of.
the Syndicate had, what's the second biggest?
The what?
If
What?
Fuji,
The
'cause
first one?
I feel like Fuji was the biggest or like the most intensive arc we've had so far. Correct? Would it be fair to say that?
Fuji was a lot.
Or at least had the most ramifications.
Fuji was a world event. I like to classify them in different tiers of like effort in terms of events. You got progression events, which are like specific things that happen within the area of yourself or your city, and they are what progresses the story within that area, that point. Then you have country events or continental events, where it's things like earthquakes and like large explosions or things that change the geographical location of the area around. It's got that sort of stuff.
Are you already running for president?
No. I'm talking about the physical geology of the land, or the geography.
It's a little different.
And that would be like a continental event would be the raising of Babylon once upon a time to allow for it to have to be above sea level, unlike the rest of Louisiana. That's what I consider for that. And then you got world
Or it
progression
could've been, like, the
events.
statement of the volcano.
Yeah, or the volcano or Mount Fuji being like having a giant crater in its side now. It's a lot. Then you got world progression events, where it's something that affects the entire world, which would have been the Great Celestial Void Dragon blinking his eye. And that would be a world progression event sort of thing.
Everyone looks at Foxtail.
You chose this life.
To this day, I don't regret
Well then,
it. I
in
still don't
which
regret it.
case-
Look, if
I
I just
learned
What would
none
be-
of it
so
would have
if-
happened if,
if
I didn't
Fuji
trade it
was-
for weed.
It wasn't a
If
progression
Fuji
event.
was the biggest world arc, what would you say was underneath Fuji in terms of
Blessed
scale?
things.
In terms of scale, we had a couple
Like, in
of
terms
ground
of that, like,
battles.
tier you've mentioned.
We've had a couple of ground battles for the convent of the banana tree. It was the convent of the banana tree. We did a couple of battles as monkeys versus Antioch versus Diablos versus BPD. So that was a lot of intricacies there. Nothing from the metaverse so far to me has seemed as if it would be a truly world progression event amongst the metaversal lands, because it's just
Yeah, we'll get there.
it's just
Attached from our lord.
Random
not-
it's not
question,
even
is there
just
any
that.
banana tree still around?
Theirs is a little bit
There
on
are.
a bigger scale than ours right now.
Oh god.
It's not even a bigger
So-
bigger scale. Ours feels as if ours
about
kind of
Blackbeard?
expands out beyond it, because this is our setting versus a bunch of different player characters' settings that which are then intermixed into this one world. Because all these different player characters in the metaverse, they all have their different
That's what I
backstories and all
mean,
their
though.
other things.
That's
They
really
come from their own different places,
There
their
are-
own points.
There are organized groups in the metaverse that all have their own major events. The problem is the metaverse isn't one RP group, it's like a shitload altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And
So there are major events, they're just only for certain groups.
It's like a hub.
The biggest you get, the closest you get to having major events that change the world are battles that happen outside of Zephyra or in Zephyra. Otherwise, you have to find a different world to work in. The biggest one that I know of in recent time has been what turned the wasteland into what it currently is outside of Zephyra, the Tsarist War. And that was like 2 years ago. Everything else is in extra dimensional spaces, so they can't really be accessed by the players regularly.
Apparently,
Or
Zarus
they're
is coming
forcefully
back.
forgotten.
It is coming back. Hopefully it doesn't get rushed this time. The DMs got rushed last time because there wasn't much coordination between groups.
The
I
other day,
feel like that's gonna happen
the
again.
entirety of the story behind it.
Yeah, well, hopefully it goes better this
Sounded
time.
wild.
It's definitely going to, but
I have faith in them. I have faith in the metaverse.
Because the main DM that time got cucked. Halcifer was a bit sad about that, I heard. Though I can't speak for them, so I don't know.
I don't know. That's beyond me. Meh.
What would you say is
so you were
the-
going on to the level of world
the
progression.
progression you want to? Yeah. I was gonna say, what do you find the most prioritizing progression? Like, what do you feel is like the priority right now in terms of planning?
So right now, the Syndicate as a whole seeks to expand territory. That's the current goal of the Syndicate, which is allocated then to the Dons, who are all going to their own specific places and getting their own specific like plots of land. Shikaku going to Japan, Korea, Scion's going to Egypt, Diablo's trying to go to Hell or Mexico, and the Imperials trying to take over the Americas, or America itself specifically. And
When do I get to take the moon?
no.
You take the moon and you take the sun.
Is Alaska part of America yet or no?
Yes.
Yes.
I remember what year.
Yeah, Alaska's part of
it
the US at
became
this
part-
point.
I want
It became part of
Hawaii.
the US within maybe the last 20 or 30 years.
So
It was
with
like in the 1890s.
We have to wait until the Second World War. Why is not part of
Make
the
it
US
to
until then?
Mars.
it is prior with Roosevelt, but
We win them through Japan.
what's it called? Where was I? I got my train of thought broken.
You're talking
You're
about
talking
events.
The Imperials are taking America.
Yeah, the
Each
Imperials are
family
taking
is
America.
working on territory.
Each family is working on territory individually. However, they aren't doing so in such an efficient manner to where it can be said that the entirety of all of that we're doing is equal across the board. A lot of people comment and remark saying like, "Oh, the Imperials are like the main characters, the main story, like part of the story," because that's where we are currently. If we go to Egypt, Scions are going to be the main people, a part of the story, because it's about Egypt and their story of what's happening in Egypt. We are in America currently. The Imperials are trying to take the entirety of America, yet these other houses that we intend to push out are getting too comfortable staying within Babylon because they think that the Imperials are going to continue to protect them forever. Or, for another reason, or one reason or another, they're too afraid to go out there and just go and do something and take land in whatever manner they can possibly take. And it's just... that's exhausting, because some house leaders are afraid of failure to such a degree that if it occurs to them, it'll destroy them completely. And that's just irritating, because I'm trying
I
to...
do have a question.
what's your question, Darren?
Which houses are close, in your opinion, on achieving that goal of,
No house is currently, other than the Imperials, expanded their territory beyond Babylon properly, because the Shikaku don't even hang out in their Korean town.
I want to take Mars or some planet.
You have
I want to
cities.
take a water planet. No, you know what?
Diablo's
gonna-
right now.
We still have the statement of we're taking Texas, right?
We're taking all of America.
I know, but we're currently working on like the main statement of pushing into Texas. We have people going that way. I'm starting up NASA soon.
most of Texas is already under our control.
Space race.
Yeah, most of Texas is already under our control. All that we have left is Houston, and we haven't really done much in Houston other than ballistic round it with cruise missiles and shit, and Poi wandering through with Jack and being Jack's destruction of what he does. And obviously the other two.
Shrine building.
Hey, Gumro.
Sierran is saying it is difficult since the RP is still centered around Babylon and Mercia.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the point, right? Grand, we need to push out and go to other territories. That way we can have instances in those areas.
Yeah.
We can't just make instances in places that we don't have any influence in or reason to be there.
There's a thing.
It's the statement of it's hard when only one person is pushing for those areas.
Yeah.
What's up?
We're gonna do more stuff in space.
Because you can't have one person push for a whole country.
There's a thing Cerberus and Sidewinder want to do in the future, where we send a bunch of people to take Europa, basically. So we're gonna do that in Barotrauma.
Exoplanet?
Why?
Because it's... Are you guys gonna cause a Callisto protocol?
We're gonna take Europa and Barotrauma because that's honestly the easiest way to do it, but also the most difficult at the same time.
It's on my wish list.
You worry me.
Is this okay?
Watched it all already.
Do what you gotta do. But in terms of the setting of what all it is, it's difficult for us to push onto other people a story that they don't even want to take part in. Because right now, we are, as the Imperials, we are fighting to push and take the rest of the Americas. Fighting the Antioch, the Black Chamber, the Shroud, Red Circus, Eldritch shit that comes around. And we have to be the ones to do it, because the other houses are solely just, squatting on the land that which we have fought for etc. amount of, months at this point, a year. And they're not really leaving, because the Diablos are building hell poles in their village, and they're not building them in any territory that they seek to take in hell. They're not going out beyond themselves other than through Gumro. Where's Gumro? Gumro over there is the only one so far. Come over here, Gumro. Sit down. Gumro over here is the only one of the Diablos who's actually going out there and conquering land. The Engineers, even with the Engineers, they go through and they clear their floors, they clear their dungeons, bosses, etc. The Engineers, as a part of the Diablos, because Vassal House, the Engineers, they go there and they kill things and they leave. There's very little, actual conquest beyond, the things that have happening recently.
So,
it's like Vietnam.
Right now, they are finishing the Tyrant arc, where the reason why we were going and killing things was we were collecting certain artifacts that were lost, and we recently were able to finally retrieve the one we were looking for. That is long story short, is a sarcophagus that can be used to seal away the Tyrant. So that the reason we've been combating his forces and are essentially planning to complete a ritual that will basically fuck him up seal him forever. That's what all these missions have been basically leading up to.
Still, it's mostly just contractors. There's mostly just people that are just around at the time versus actual Engineers mains pushing to take these things beyond a story's cover. With the Syndicate,
I even noted that earlier.
With the Syndicate, with the Syndicate, we have to do an open-ended thing where anybody's able to do anything and affect the world. So when it comes to that, then you gotta have just an open-ended wait period of saying, all right, these are things that can occur. Go and have them occur. And you can only hope that the houses are going to do something about that, like the drowning moon or needing to take territory. You actually go out there and you go and find a territory as a map, or you go and create the territory as a world that you can then call your own, so that you can call that your base of operations and you can build whatever you need to build there. It's just these houses are staying in Babylon as if it is the lifeblood of what all they need to do. And they feel in their own rights that if they leave the areas of Babylon, that they're no longer a part of the roleplay. The roleplay is the entirety of the world. You can go anywhere in the world, and you could be a part of the roleplay. It's just...
I have a question.
We'll see. But what's up?
I can't speak for... Oh.
If we're taking the United States, are we also taking Canada? And if so, is
Eventually.
that going to piss off the British Empire and whatever's out there?
We're sending Jack the Ripper to the British Empire.
Okay.
Hey.
So in terms of, like, I can't speak for all the families, but I feel like with the Diablos at least, it's a combination of, or not even a combination, it's just a mixed feeling of people not feeling prepared. Or like that they will succeed.
Look
like,
at them. They've got a military jacket. They're prepared to go and murder a bunch of people. Look at them.
I'm saying most people.
Gum is doing great.
Gum is an exception.
I can
Like,
additionally
for
put this
example,
out there.
The statement I will make on that, though.
I was gonna say I, for example, want to create weblands, but as of right now, I've been instructed to focus on training the hell spiders.
I have additional in that regard for people who feel like they're not prepared enough to go out and make these moves. They can additionally hire on or request Cerberus guards to go with them. Cerberus military forces.
But see, the thing is that they can, but it's not the point of what it
with
is.
MGs, it'll go burr.
It's not the point of what it is. The point is that mainly we don't want the Imperials to be at the head of every story that people think is at the head of. We only really care solely about what's happening in America. Everybody else can go and fuck off to their own countries. In the role play, obviously, that didn't want that to sound weird, but the common belief is that the Imperials are the main characters, what the original topic of this was. And it's stupid, because it's not about a house specifically. I've said this numerous times, is that at any point throughout it, like, anybody can die, even me. It's not about the characters, it's about the story of the world. And just, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I just the idea that people can't see beyond the now and just get to where they're trying to go without, like, difficulty or, like, fear of failure, it's just exhausting to me. I want to see houses try, and I want to see them actually make light or make good on their promise to conquer their tomorrow. If they don't go out there and do it, what's the point in even trying to say you're going to? That sort of stuff. Everybody went quiet.
Because it's the statement of, unless you try something,
Well, no,
you'll never...
'cause
Well,
you're
I was just
absolutely
waiting.
right.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The reason even I would say is you're completely right on that is because, imagine this. A house cannot be pushed by one person. If you start pushing the house by yourself, then guess what? Nothing's going to happen because you're working alone. The whole point of the Syndicate is to work together. You work with your family, but if your family doesn't want to work with you, then you stagnate, you hold. But then there's also the statement of looking at it at the point of, if you do not try anything and you give up at the first sight of any challenge, guess what happens? You will never grow. You will hold in stagnation for forever. That's what people teach you when it comes to learning new skills, things like that. You will never grow. And that's the whole point of these houses, is to grow with each other. To work as a unit, a compromised family.
See, that's the thing though, is people say that, but then at the same time, it's the we need to spread out and focus on the families, like figuring out how to do things on our own. Like, where is
It's
the
the statement of
balance?
the family. So Shikaku should all be working with Shikaku. The Imperials should be working with Imperials. Not saying we don't work together. You could still work with the other families. But if your family is working on a primary goal, your goal should be with your family.
Mm-hmm.
If your family does not have a distinguished goal, then guess what happens? You get muddled, you get lost, you don't know what to do.
If you're not going to be helping your family out, why are you in the family?
Mm. How do you feel about that, boy?
Why you ask me about that question?
Because I want to hear your thoughts.
Also, I just noticed Poise right here. Hi, Poi.
On which thing? Half right at the moment?
On how you feel that the houses are doing currently in the forms of leadership and, you know, things of that nature. Leadership and how the house is going in terms of direction.
I can go down the list of every house, but
Start with the Imperials. I feel like we should start on, like, we should do it based off of the houses that we've been a part of. So, Poi, you focus on the Imperials with that. Foxtail, you focus on the Shikaku. Junie, focus on the other houses that y'all have been a part of. Or, you know, Scorch you as well for Shikaku, both of y'all. Diablos and Cerberus. Okay? We good?
like if you,
I'm always doing shit.
let's see, been with the Imperials for over a year now.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, with the same character also. That's the like wild part. A lot of things that not everybody can say that they actually stayed with one character for an extended period of time, but also kept them the way that they are without like changes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Imperials in general is more of how can I explain this without sounding cryptic or weird? As you said, we're not the main force. I easily can reference this. The Imperials had their light, or the House of Mortem had their light at the start of the Syndicate, as you noted. Back when I had my capital trials and I called out Bear Pug without noticing he was on the couch 2 feet away from me, for him not doing anything. The Imperials had their light for the longest time, and it's everybody else's turn. And that's why the Imperials don't want to be on the forefront or do things. Yes, I did the Virtues mission and all that, but that was just a push because I never did anything for myself. It was always for somebody else in a different house. It was for other people.
Mm-hmm.
But as the Imperials, it's more of we are more advisor roles at this rate of current, like, say, 6 months after Japan and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be exact, a year. We've been in a weird advisor role where we've been helping, like, Serpents, Cerberus. Now we're going to end up helping Order of Thorns. We grow as houses so they can be independent than what they are now, where they have to rely on the original people that has been through, hell of the roleplay and back.
Mm-hmm. Fuji was just the beginning. Just wait till the Titano Ragnar Eclipskia.
I still like there's a technically speaking of war that's still going on that I'm still trying to finish. That's going on longer than Fuji, and that's Hammerstein because there's still one more part that I want to actually finish up. I know it's been sitting too long. I know it's going to be a living hellhole, but it's still something that needs to be done, and that's a good thing for Serpent, maybe for the initial start, and then Order of Thorns because Feywild, and then anybody else that wants to be more involved with seeing what else the Fey do.
If we go, I want to follow up on the whole Abel thing with Serious Clan. if that's a possibility.
That's a
That's
little
been
different
kinda
where they're
hanging up
going.
ahead for a while. I know, but if it's
They're
in
going
the
to a
general
different
area,
place.
once
For
we're done with our
context, for
part.
people that weren't here, that whole Hammerstein mission, Bjorn was trying to figure out if he can go to Valhalla, even though he was undead. He was literally going there for a single question. We spent 3 days. I also mentioned out of character one time that I had a backup character already set because Poi was not supposed to be, my main character. But, however, I'm very stubborn when I make a character, and Grant tried to actively kill me for 3 days.
I remember those days you telling us to go after him.
But, being a rat, and that mindset kind of helped me a lot. But after that day 3, Bjorn got his answer, but also exposed where the location of the tree root was. I still remember that. Key world things that change things. There's currently a huge war in Ireland with the Fae versus the Curse. That no one's intervening, and the Curse are most likely winning at the moment. Due to the Elohim can't go there to fight their wars because they're being selfish and hiding in their holes. And Poi can't really leave without a horde following him anyways. So I was stuck in a weird rut where I needed more people like Faye. The technically this virtue mission was not to save Darren's sister, but that was on accident, but more of to see who I can bring along at certain missions to actually succeed, such as a demonic horde. Like, I'm ready for the demonic horde to attack Babylon. I know something's up. It would have attacked us in Houston. It makes no sense.
Smile.
But it's just one of those things that we are Imperials are not supposed to be in the forefront, but some of our player characters can be. Bjorn, Poi, for Grand, because they're doing something that will benefit a lot more people than just them or their own house. Because getting the virtue doesn't benefit the Imperial house at all. It benefits all the blessed that are existence in the Syndicate. But that's the reason why the House of Mortem is more an advisor role than a the main house or the main characters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's even the start of the
People
kinfolk
still
rallies
call
I'm
it the main
doing.
house during recruitment.
It is. It's not
Like,
wrong,
it
but
is,
it's not
but-
right at the same time.
Originally.
Yeah.
The original
Structure-wise,
house.
It is. Story-wise, it is not.
Yes.
Well, it's still technically in story. It is still the original because it's based off of, Don Varsesi creating the Varsesi family, which took over the Omerta because their sons, the original 4 sons of the Mario Varsesi or Don Varsesi, Grant's adopted father, were the ones who had begun developing the city for various different things, such as Rook being the one who built up a great deal amount of the architectural designs and structures, such as Fort Marcia, Shikaku Palace, the Omerta Hotel, and a couple of other things in the other districts. And he was the one that did that, and the others did their own various things, like creation of the neutrals and the creation of the rooks. Or not the rooks, the blighters. And you just got all these different brothers who are across the city. And then Don Varsesi discovers the portal that goes to the kinfolk dimension. And he starts going over there and weaving the 2 dimensions together until they're inseparable due to the amount of times he went back. With the birth of Gray, Tricky, Panda, and so on, you get those ones down onto the ground, and then boom, you get the entirety of Babylon and everything just all of that just coming together into such a weird cacophony of things that had to transpire to get to the fact that it's just one house at the very beginning that was Grand's house, that he then just allowed Ginger, Ysmir, and a couple of the other Shikaku types, the Japanese, to go and make the Shikaku clan. And then they go off into the East Babylon. They go and hang out in East Babylon. They make the Shikaku Club, and they develop into that area a very unique culture. And then the next house that's born is the Diablos. The Diablos come out because Savage wanted to make a Mexican drug cartel. And, you know, he did it. He got a bunch of his friends. He got Cat 7 at one point, I believe. He got a couple of them together, and they made the Diablos. And then it was the 3 houses that were at the head. Then you had the BPD that came in when I requested Kazi to make one alongside a Sanatorium. And then a Sanatorium took it over with Cube now and Foolery. And, you know, let's see here. Trying to read chat.
The fuck is going on with chat?
That guy's being fucking weird.
I didn't even notice that. Well,
I don't. We'll just ignore chat.
I didn't see anything. Like.
So here's a question for you, because
Yeah.
you mentioned all the different gangs that we've seen so far. Where did the Fox gang come into all of that, or the
Fox Brigade.
what was it that you called them? Fox Brigade.
Mm-hmm.
Because you mentioned all these different ones, they all were pre-existing, but then Fox gang would have to come in sometime after Varsezi started messing with the portals.
They're just whispers of Dionysus, aren't they?
So the brigade
No.
I've been wanting to take for a long time.
Fox Brigade.
Party foxes, basically.
Fox Brigade is like a cult of foxes that are like all in worship to, like, the kitsune, or like the greater forms of foxes. Essentially, like the greater form of like living fox people, and it comes about with their whole like concept of like they're all superior. They even have like human worshippers that wear fox ears and fox masks, like to cover their eyes to make them look and appear more like
Oh god,
foxes.
the potatoes. Oh god, it's the potatoes all over again.
What do you mean?
I know not of what you
All I'm
speak.
hearing is Fox gang.
Okay, context. The Sovietites. There are now Sovietites that are wearing paper mache kitsune ears and tails because apparently
okay.
me.
I can. Okay, so here's why. So here's what happened with that. You were given a potato that turned into a Sovietite. When a person is given a potato, the Sovietite imitates them. There's like over 100 Sovietites with paper mache spider legs because they're Irania's honor guard. Like they
I know, but I'm saying
are
it's the
attached
statement
to.
of that.
Yeah, there's also a statue. You know,
I know. I was just saying it's the statement of potatoes all over again.
Fox gang.
Well, you got them simping for you.
I did
I would say probably another like
I did
hour.
nothing.
or not, probably
Didn't they
another
call you
30,
like
40
Big
minutes
Titty
because
Fox
then we
Girl?
should go to a different
Yes, 'cause
topic
Nikolai.
after this.
We can probably
Barry,
move
you're gonna have to
on.
repeat yourself.
Yes.
But we can go on to the next house, but
Oh,
that's
next
how
house.
I feel about like the Imperial.
Oh, next
Fighters,
house
do what
is-
they need to do. It'd be Feather and
Scorch, Shikaku time. Muted.
Sorry, I'm eating.
Oh, gotcha. Bird food.
Come back to him.
Bird food.
They're eating pigeon feed.
Foxtail, what you got then for Shikaku? How do you feel things are going?
For me, that's hard to say. Because I'm going to say this from like what I've seen and from when I was there. On my end, a lot of the people in Shikaku wanted to do their own things. They never truly wanted to work 100% together. But then there were set people who were wanting to push everything to keep everything going, making sure everything was stable, and at the same time, some of those people couldn't even keep their focus. It's hard to say on my end. Now, what I'm seeing, it's starting to become a bit more coherent again, but it's still lingering around those areas of like set people don't show up unless truly needed, or they're going doing other things, but not trying to push towards what they're trying to push. So it makes it hard. Some of the player base I don't see show up at like, hey, our normal lobbies more than anything. I see them show up more towards just engineer lobbies. That's not how you work with your house. I can't say the most on that because that's how I see it. Your house should be working together, talking together, running as a squad, but at the same time, knowing where your duties are, what you have to do, how to push forward, and what to do to push forward. But if there's a blockade, not stopping. Best example of that would be the Raiders. I didn't stop when the Raiders attacked that first time. I just went in, I was like, let's fucking befriend them. Let's go. But I don't know how many times I was told, we shouldn't do that, they're Raiders, just kill them. And now it's something that could have turned to benefit them.
Mm-hmm.
You take your chances, you place your bets where you can, and you pray for the best outcomes. But you prepare yourself for the worst outcomes. I don't know how many times people look at my mind and say, you're only thinking the worst, you're only thinking the worst. And it's because I prepare for everything.
Hmm. And what you got over there,
In
Vmon?
terms of it now... Oh.
Everybody say hello to Vmon.
Hello,
Hello,
V-Mon.
V.
Hello, Shrek.
Hello, V, you pork.
Oh,
I'm going to beat you and make you eat nasty food.
On the Shikaku side, I don't have too much opinions compared to like other houses.
Serpents.
Oh,
We're-
serpents?
Yeah,
What'd you
serpents.
ask me?
Yeah, we're talking about our own current houses and how they're. How do we think they're doing?
Serpents is doing at a like, it's not going as fast as I wanted because I've been putting. For some reason, ever since I joined Serpent and got to my position, I'm always on the mind of things have to go quicker, just more quality over quantity. People are starting to talk to each other more, but I also understand that my people need more things to do now, because the amount of people that we have gotten, we have to actually keep them interested. They're not just gonna like stay sit down. But that's overall just my responsibility to plan things out for them, conversate with other leaders to do things. I feel like Serpents is doing good, but I mean we're not gonna keep stopping. I don't want to get laxed. I always hate. That's the only fear I really have with Serpents is we get too lax, and that's when things fall apart. That's why I non-stop work. That's why you'll see me on every day. I can't stop working.
Mm-hmm. All right. Junie, how you feeling?
Don't really have any complaints. I like what we are. I agree with him. It is kind of slaxed, but it's not too slow in my opinion. It's a good progression.
It's a steady pace.
I feel like every Serpent has like ever since they joined Imperials have installed that like battle hunger.
Well,
and when we don't fight, we just get super bored and want to fight something. It doesn't matter what it is. Like Tony's fighting each other for no fucking reason, or we doing a tournament because we're all we want to fight, we want blood.
Yeah.
That's the Imperial way.
I'm an
I didn't
anomaly
come up
on
with
that one. As much as a
No
war
commander.
beast I love being.
No commander came up with that idea. It was just Kazi and then like 4 other Serpents said, you know what? Let's fight each other. We're bored. And then Kazi said tournament, and everybody just kept saying tournament, and then immediately DM'd me.
They said they want to go full no holds bar, so it sounds like just running pockets to me.
They want to beat each other's asses, and I'm just gonna watch at this point. I'm not
It just sounds like a free smoke.
Does this mean I'm charging commission for every person who wants to watch?
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Ayo. 20 mil? 20 mil a ticket?
Start selling popcorn.
I know Kazi wants to like open it to other houses, for other houses can run their fades, but
So
like,
boxing match.
No, it's death matches.
It's the Colosseum.
The Colosseum.
Yeah.
Didn't we do
Oh,
something
it's like
that
that
once
time
before?
where the houses went. Yeah, all the houses
One
went at each
time.
other for an event.
It was
Like I know
I feel like
Bjorn
we
went
need to do
against
that every now and then.
Fury.
You know
shot,
what?
Like,
Isn't Fury here? Yeah, they're right there. Hello, Fury.
Yes, right there.
wait, what?
I
What's
will
going?
say on this,
We're in a
I
maid
feel like we
outfit.
need to do that more often.
Don't worry
Yeah,
about
they're
it,
made.
Sage. Don't worry about
I
it.
feel like we need to do that more
That is
often.
a really good way to piss John off more than he already is.
Like just
Remind him about the Bjorn fight.
every house getting back
and how
into the costume
Byron
every
and
now
a
and
bunch
then.
of servants were
Having
just
tournaments
sniping.
if need be. Mainly if just I really just am envisioning it of just helping clear the air with most people. If you really got something we need to fight about, go to the Coliseum and just handle your
Dog,
business
put
there
your
instead
mask
of just
on. This
throwing
shit's
all this
creepy
fucking
staring
shade and
at me.
shit.
Bro,
It's fucking creepy.
It's
like
not.
he's like Two-Face.
Yeah, he is. He very is.
It may be my simple mindset, but I enjoy that. It helps resolve things for me at least.
I agree.
Plus, I have to leave see you turning your head to not look at it.
I'm not even turning my head to not look at it. I'm
But here.
looking at Grandoys primarily.
How do you feel about how the Diablos are going, Gum?
I honestly think the Diablos, when I first joined, they had a direction that they were heading into progression through hell and whatnot. Now I think we're sort of stuck. There hasn't really been much I've been seeing as in progression towards really anything. We're a bit separated, not all working unified together on one single project. I think that's what we honestly need is a project to work together on. Like, yes, conquering territory was a big project, but after that failed, it just fell apart. We haven't done anything since. That is one of the reasons why I skedaddled myself went to hell in search for the territory to take over.
Which I think it'd be noble to do that. That's is what confuses me.
You can become
I
a
always
noble.
Get, like, mixed answers.
I mean, I am a knight.
Oh shit, you are! I forgot you got promoted. Never mind.
When it
bad.
comes
I was in the
to
middle.
the
It happened
Diablos,
to you while Shiva was getting hit by a chair.
when it comes to the Diablos, they are spread too thin, and there is no direct hands being pushed in any one direction at the top. You've got all the different consigs who are doing different things, and then the main leader who's, courting a fae and not really doing much in the way of actual management of the house, and more so just holding of a position. It's very difficult to say that the Diablos are doing the best these days. Do you agree?
Let me see something. I agree. Something I was thinking about doing after I finished my incursion in hell is going to Songrist and asking him what direction did he want the house to go when he first started it. Because in the end, if we know the initial purpose of the Diablos, then perhaps we can go back to it and actually use that as a starting point instead
That's
of
the thing,
trying to try something completely different than what the house
We
was
already know the
initially made
initial-
for.
The
I don't.
initial
tried going into one of the most Christian places in the world.
Yeah.
Literally almost every Mexican has a Bible.
Yeah.
You're
That's
going to
what I'm
have that as a
saying.
new-faced
It
army.
was-
Guess what? From
it
that, you
was
have a
not
bunch
a
of
good
demons
first
that
step.
understand now, hey... No, that's not what I'm saying, though. You're getting your soldiers sweet. You're getting them some experience, at least. It was going to go the same way. You had basically new bloods compared to old bloods. Using in
The thing
terms
I'll
of
say,
the
though,
experience
is
of the Syndicate. You have the people,
none
the
of the
higher,
new
been here
blood-
the longest, to the newer, fresh meat.
None of the new blood in that situation, though, actually saw battle. All of the new blood... I'm gonna count myself because new character. We were literally... That first battle, we weren't allowed to be a part of it. We were told we were gonna be wave 3. Second half, it ended up becoming a rescue mission for wave 3 because the fact that we were in the back, we ended up getting surrounded by all of the reinforcements. And it was literally me,
but
Stolix, and
at the same
Cash just
time-
running from mechs.
So I need to give.
No, is that is you understanding now what you have to fight.
Oh, yeah, no.
Before we continue, I want to bring to Cube my answer to his question a bit ago of like, what would the BPD be at the time of like these houses all taking different countries? What's the BPD gonna do? I've in my mind the idea of making a new black chamber out of the BPD, where the BPD would be able to expand to the entirety of like multiple different governments and become like an Illuminati figure that helps like an Illuminati figure that helps like the world or the empires, the leaders of the syndicate keep and maintain the veil and like stave off eldritch incursions.
Already what I was thinking with
I always imagine them
with
as
the whole
eventually
statement of
becoming
doing like
a
the Korea city.
One is.
Oh.
You
I
then.
didn't hear what Junie said.
You.
The statement of everything with like Korea. That's what I was originally planning on doing because I had talked to Vermin about it a few times. I was like, hey, we don't have a police force. We're not gonna have like a ton of our people just running around constantly. Why don't you guys be like the policing, the faces for the people? Whereas ours is that the militaristic SWAT team that pushes out if huge breakouts happen. But you guys are here to help stave the things that we can't fight against. And I had talked to Vermin about that, and Vermin had agreed to it with Korea originally. So.
Alrighty. Now we can go back to how you feel about your houses. So you got anything more, Gum? Gotcha. Sage.
Alright. I'll be frank. I have mixed feelings on where the Diablos are right now. I love this family and, you know, I want to see it grow and prosper. We all do. We all want to see each other grow. But as it stands right now, I agree with what Gum said about us being lost. I've seen that. Hell, I've even been some of the people that have been lost on occasion. But I feel like I feel like there are two key things that contribute to this. One being demotivation. A lot of people see the Diablos have lost a lot, and you know, a lot of people don't see it for what it is, which is an opportunity to learn. A lot of people just take it at face value and just wallow in it. I was one of those people in the past. The second issue, though, is something that Foxtail mentioned that I also see happen within the Diablos, which is a lot of people focus on their own things and not through the betterment of the house. Which it's not that they don't want the house to succeed or that they don't want to help out. It is just that they are solely focused on what they wish to do, that it's kind of like putting blinders on. And so with those two things, it just becomes this mess of nothing is being moved forward. Where some people are scared of moving forward or thinking they're not prepared, and some are just focused on their own things, so they're not even noticing. And it's kind of frustrating, and it's something that like not just one person can address. There needs. I feel like the Diablos have had one too many speeches and wake-up calls about this kind of situation. And I feel like with every new person, it's something that we have to reiterate. It gets frustrating. It very much does. Like, I do personally, I do believe that we are 100% not prepared to take over Mexico or anything like that. That is something that once we get our shit together more so, we can focus on. But when it comes to hell, we need to be more organized. We really do. And for example, the battle that we had in hell, we were prepared, but the second stuff started getting chaotic, it all fell apart. It was to the point where I literally was sitting back because I wasn't really able to do much at the time, but also because I hadn't at the time realized like the potential I had as Aranya. I straight up ended up like with the approval of Fury just leaving and going after the Hell Spiders that had walked by. Because the mission at that point was it wasn't going anywhere. I ended up getting more valuable information and more things out of leaving the battle than the battle itself. I just feel like part of me feels like individual members of the Diablos need to get stronger, but at that same point, that can always be said. Like, this person needs to get stronger, this person needs to get stronger. At a certain point, we need to take the initiative, and I don't know when that is personally, and I don't think any of the Diablos know when that is. Like, I want to go personally, and like Arania has a spot that they want to take over. They've said it and they've been to it, but right now I'm being told to focus on all the other Hell Spiders, and that only goes so far with how much the people who are playing them are willing to go. So I gotta work with them and be patient, which I am not good at being. I need to work on that. Like, a lot of the stuff I'm saying here is a little hypocritical because I myself am part of the problem. I'm aware of that, but the Diablos right now are in a rut, suffice to say.
I have a haka here prior
Sorry
to
if I went on
continuing.
forever.
Let's see here. Let's get this haka up really quick and then we'll
Just
go
do
on to
Sammy.
Sammy.
Oh, I was about to say he's the last one.
Oh, yeah. I'll pause it then. Sammy, how you feel Cerberus is going?
Huh? Cerberus, as far as I can see from the player side of things, is going fantastic. I'm just afraid that I'm not doing enough. We are having to currently replace our head engineer, which is going to bring forth a whole lot more engineering projects. And I know this because I'm probably going to replace head engineer with Murky, and Murky just has a level of dedication I have not yet seen. Like, holy fucking shit. Good props to that guy. for coordination in Cerberus, we usually have great coordination in the field. There's a few people I've realized need more training when it comes to squad leadership, but that'll be dealt with. And yeah, we're always doing shit. We're always having fun, and we're gonna keep expanding. I just feel like I'm not doing enough, but.
I think you're doing enough. I think you're doing fine.
All these players that want to do stuff, I'm gonna keep running missions for them, and we got some more people on our side who want to run more missions, more like practice missions and stuff. The biggest issue I see currently is not interacting enough with you guys, with your groups. That's the biggest issue I see, which I'm desperately trying to fix.
I get that.
I'm not allowed to
And
ask
we're gonna see
why
how that
that
goes.
is. I don't really pay attention to it because I trust John don't really deal with other houses or vassals. But I do notice that I never really asked enough of
Why
why
Cerberus ain't
it
around?
is that they don't. Cerberus, Engineers, like a few of the other vassals from the houses, they just don't show up. Which I guess I kind of get because like they were part of their own community at one point, or they are their own separate community, and they don't want to bleed in with ours. But
So
I
I
don't know.
have an answer for Cerberus. I can answer for Cerberus. I'll do that real quick. Cerberus, it's usually one of two reasons. The first being, they just don't realize that the session happens. They just don't know when to go in. And the second being, which we're trying to fix.
About that. Oh.
And the second being, just their computers not being able to handle it.
No.
A lot of my people tried to go earlier on, like individually, when there was no limit on models and what they could be, for like stats and whatnot. And because of that, they couldn't run the lobby. They couldn't like be able to go into the lobbies. They would crash. Their computers would hard crash. They wouldn't be able to do it.
Okay.
We still have people who have issues, even with the current stats. So there's not a lot I can do in that regard. Best I can do is host Cerberus lobbies at the same time as the Syndicate, like along Syndicate schedule, and then hope that people from the Syndicate pass over to ours. Which I don't even know if it's even allowed. I don't know if we're considered two metaverse.
I mean, if there's a lot of ifs there, because without full confirmation from the people within the group that they are 100% with every decision that is made regarding the company, it's difficult to say that Cerberus is any further away from metaverse than like the Sylvan Vale is to everything else that they're doing. Because, still tall, that's one thing, still tall people, future tech, doing stuff over there, not coming to the Syndicate events, focusing more on the necessities of like that interaction, like caring more, I suppose, for like metaverse interaction than like Syndicate interaction. Not specifically from you, but like from other people within it. It's difficult to really just say, yeah, they can go over.
So, what I've seen so far, I'm sorry for interrupting.
No,
from the
keep going.
DM side of things, for the leaders of Cerberus, what we're going to try and do is establish, by going to recruitment events, establish Cerberus Syndicate side, and slowly try to merge the two. So we have a Syndicate side primarily based Cerberus, and we have the Metaverse side, and we try to merge them so they become one. But we're going to see how that goes.
I think you could do that by making a subsidiary company of the Cerberus Mega Corporation.
I think we have one. We just never did anything with it.
Dude,
It'd be funny if this is how you play your
Cost to
whole
invest
making
in
two
NASA?
companies fight each other to.
you literally become both Arasaka and Militech, and then just have both Arasaka and Militech fight to see who's the stronger like vassal. Cerberus Mega Corporation could
technically
finally
ours
be.
merged.
You don't.
Lore-wise, Arasaka's stronger, technically.
Regardless, you have Cerberus who could become, like a Godfather level house and be able to have vassals. The vassals being like, Cerberus Metaverse section, which would be predominantly of the strike team and the manufacturing core. Then you have Cerberus on Syndicate side, which would be a different vassal who would be like associated around like research, Nefeshi tech, like this sort of arcane engineering. And then, the soldiers for both sides being of those different specifications, such as like spell swords or like spellcasters on the Cerberus side for soldiers that would be getting hired into it, like technomancers and things of that stuff, or golems even. And you just have on this side for Cerberus, you got the main thing that you got going for that.
What I wanted to do, I don't know if this would be permitted, but for Cerberus side, on top of the like research and all that, is establish our security forces Syndicate side as sort of like mercenaries for the other houses. Like you could hire us out if you needed extra manpower or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that'd even be permitted or if it'd be allowed or anything.
That would be fine if they're using the Syndicate metaverse version of the Cerberus model.
Yep. The Syndicate, like our shock troops.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just fucking the MG boys.
Oh,
which is what they do. I don't. Alright, Serpents, when they went to the back rooms recently, I was hanging around as a shock troop, and they just were like Cerberus with us. I was like, okay.
I can't wait to the day that we have one Syndicate RP, when every family is all active and we're all at one place at one time.
World
That's the day I
crashes.
hope for, but it still. I rather the world crash and us just not be there. Multiple.
No, I'm
things
waiting for us
open.
to do that IRL, just world crash a spot in the world.
I don't know why we're doing this to people. Like we know good and well we're on the actually
World
IRL
crash a
RP.
place in Seattle, just
God.
only Syndicate people there, just hovering at a whole fucking cafe.
I will say at least.
For everybody
I will
who's
say
in the
at least
chat,
for
hashtag Domani Conquered. Evermore Park, help support the Syndicate so we can go and rent out Evermore Park for a weekend.
Please do it.
Donates down below.
Why you want to get bodied?
Sage, you're gonna say something?
Yo, Grand, don't we still got our friendly little neighborhood sponsor?
Factor 75. But yes, what was that, Sage?
Yeah.
Kind of, like going off of what Sammy here was talking about. At least with the Engineers because just today I had someone asking like what was said here about Engineer members not really showing up that much unless like prompted at the mansion. With some exceptions, of course. Like Nikolai is always around. But I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that most people that are actually at the Engineer Manor are in reality not main Engineer members. Like they are part of that community, but they come from other metaversal communities. Kind of how like during some of our social lobbies we have people from other communities come by. And the fact that in reality there's actually very few active members like of said Engineer. Like if like characters that are solely for Engineer, very few of them are active if present. So it's that illusion of a lot of activity because a lot of people from the metaverse come and stop by, but those people aren't going to really stop by the Syndicate because they're there for that one sole purpose. People are usually there to meet up and plan things out. Like that is something Nikolai like, and I believe like because I had me and Nikolai had talks, and I think Grandis had talks with him about this. Part of the like part of the reason why the engineers like needed a leg up was because of that like low attendance or like low retention rate. So it's not more so they're not coming to us, it's more so there aren't really any to come to us.
My people's computers just won't run the maps. Anyway.
And also,
Otherwise,
even though we've been interacting with them for a long time, it's only been like a month or so since we've merged. People are still getting adjusted to it.
The engineers merging into the Syndicate is still a work in progress.
Yeah.
But oh well.
It's still a transition. So like the other day, actually, a decent like chunk of them came in. Like they are slowly coming in more and more. It's just taking
From
time.
what I saw, I was running security at the engineers the other day, and I might be a little stupid, but I thought I picked up on somebody who had like been a part of the engineers, and as Grand walked past, they were like, "Who is that?" And like to the Syndicate entourage. I'm like, all right then.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of people, even though it's been announced multiple times on the server and in person, and it's actively discussed, a lot of people seem to not be aware of the merger somehow. Like I've seen people openly walk up to Gran and be like, "Why the hell are you here?" And I'm like I've seen it happen once, and it's to the point like
I'm here because I'm better than you, trash. I don't
I had to
actually
pull them
believe
aside
that.
and be like, "Well, yeah, no, of course not." Wink, wink.
But I do.
But all jokes aside, it's weird in the sense of also half the time the lobby is full of Syndicate people that it's while yes we want people at the Syndicate to go, a lot of the times they're there to just chill, and then not actually do anything productive. Like I don't know what the right word is because you don't always have to be productive during an RP. You can just relax and socialize, but it's like
eventful.
Yes, they're not assisting their own house. Kind of like what you were saying earlier about people not assisting their own houses. A lot of the times, those said people, they're just chilling at the manor. And a lot of times, sometimes, they're also doing really stupid things, and either me or one of the guards have to tell them to cut it out. I feel like they see the engineers as like a playground, and that needs to change. Because they are a vassal house, they're just as like valid as we are. It's not a fad. They need to get with the program. I feel like people are using it as because a lot of people want to go to the metaverse or the Purple Lotus, and we don't let them because we don't want them to make like.
It's not about letting people.
I feel like they're.
Don't talk as if you're on the decision making of anything that happens with that stuff. Syndicate doesn't care if you go to Purple Lotus. We just care if you take your Syndicate character there, because you wouldn't be able to get back, or you wouldn't be able to go if not through a specific portal that which only specific people are able to go through, or are allowed to go through, or come through. Syndicate characters don't need to go over there because there's nothing really over there for the Syndicate characters to profit from, because they're not going to be able to use it in our dimension, because all of the stuff that comes from the metaverse gets put into boxes and is not allowed to be taken further into the universe beyond the existence of Cerberus, who literally just wears their stuff. So we're not going to just stop them from wearing their clothing because that's fucking weird, but it's just we don't have the same systems. The metaverse and the Syndicate do not have the same systems, and the cultures are too different. We don't roll, which is one that commonly comes up. We don't roll for a lot of things because most of our stuff is based off of what we realistically believe that would occur. Energy that is produced with the heat of the sun has a scientific origin point, where you take the heat of the you take the temperature of the sun and then you just direct that into a concept of a beam going forward. and boom, you have like a ray of fire or something. And the metaverse, it is a lot of scripted stuff, really. A lot of it is scripted as to like what happens in it based off of like the story that these DMs seek to tell, which isn't a bad thing, but it takes away from like the actual freedom of the players that are involved and just sort of makes them into like side characters to this overall campaign. And it's just, it doesn't seem natural to me the way that they're doing it. As for like us, with the way that we do it, it allows for the campaigns and like the actions that are happening in the roleplay to be formed based off of the players' actions themselves. So you got like the Shikaku going to Japan to try to try to help lift the siege on the Convent of the Crane. If they didn't do that for the next month, like after like the beginning of the roleplay, like the beginning of the Convent of the Crane stuff, if they waited another month, all the rest of the Convent of the Crane would probably have been dead. And then they would have just gone through the entire, like, they would have to gone through everything of Fuji up until the end, in which they would find that everything that they fought for was already dead.
And ransacked.
And ransacked, pillaged, burned. How fucked up would that be, you know? But that's a real
There's the
story.
statement of like, there's the minute, the story
Yeah.
compared to
Thank you, Sammy,
straight
for
up
Cerberus update.
outright railroading it. Because we seen the railroading of what was the event that you participated in, Grant, where the person just outright didn't die and they went into gigantic forms and they told you guys don't fight it.
It's
where there's the statement of nothing like that's ever told to us. We put our characters on the risk of our own will just to fight something that we may or may not be able to take. But guess what? In the end, as long as you try, you'll never learn how to truly take something down.
During the Black Ram War, I was like turned away twice by like two separate groups of people who were saying, "This isn't your fight. Go and fight elsewhere." And like, "Don't fight them. You're not monsters," as I'm actively eating the heart of one of their enemy generals. Like, I don't get it. My cat needs to stop attacking that damn toy. But I don't get why it is that, you know, it absolutely must be a scripted thing in that regard. And what? What'd you do?
Yeah. My mic, I forgot,
plays
was
more like
muted.
D&D.
Okay.
It wasn't that my mic was cutting in and out. Thank you for informing me of that. Informing me of that line. It was the fact of my controllers, but I accidentally had muted myself earlier when I answered our call.
Basically, Metaverse plays like Dungeons and Dragons, but
yes.
I thought we played like D&D.
In a way,
Mortesian Syndicate plays like, here's a world, here's what's in it, expand, you tell the story now. Everyone's writing their own book, but they all...
Best way it can be described
It's
is
like
LARP.
Wikipedia. Everyone's writing their own book, but it's like Wikipedia, anybody can edit it.
No. Not anybody can edit
Example
it.
that was used to describe us as Pathfinder.
I don't know how to explain it.
The Syndicate, I don't know. I have no idea, because I'd never really played D&D. I wasn't a DM for like a D&D setting. The roleplay that like, yeah, I don't really care about rolling. If I can tell it accurately, then I'm going to tell it accurately, because it's details within the confines of like a situation, a setting, a story. I base my roleplay off of like text RP, of how detailed and descriptive you are in terms of like within text RP defines how well you actually like it will both are at writing as well as, you know, add definition of the things that you do. Small Poppy says the Syndicate is a choose your own adventure book. Yeah, it is kinda, but it's not so much like, I view the Syndicate based off of a concept that I had found on Roll20 or Roll40 or whatever the fuck it was, the website, and I was Roll20, and there was a game for XCOM 2 where it was like a D&D setting, but it was called West Marches, and you could just go in there with a character and you could go do a mission in this D&D setting, and it would affect the overall world that they'd be involved with because of the way that XCOM set up. And I thought that was cool, but I can modify that to be a bit better if I do this, this, and this, by actually providing, like, having, if I do this on my own, I could do this in a similar way, but to a better degree because it's completely original content.
Makes sense.
Oh, be well, Sammy.
Take care. Yes.
There's a lot with that, because I can see in the aspects, because, like, how many times me and you talk over, like, our messages that I send most of the time, I leave them descript, but just enough to explain the purpose of what I'm doing with, like, hey, I'm doing these actions trying to get this outcome. Would it technically work? You would say no, and if it didn't, you would say normally what does happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because, like, one of the best examples that I ended up doing would have been, like, the moonbeam. I explained to you, like, I'm collecting all of the energy from the different forms of the moon that I have under me, focusing them into a focal point, and then firing it off. And that's when you said instantly, insert laser noises. And that's what I was trying to do. So it all depends on how you can think of your wording and putting a picture in someone else's head. Because that's what a lot of storytelling is a picture. It's like when you read through Harry Potter and they describe, like, the scene of Dumbledore's office. They explain, like, there's the Phoenix cage here, you see the Phoenix in it, it's just being born, and then they explain the rest of it, how there's the hourglass, things like that. Like, that's what you really need to do in a lot of your messages, but not go that heavy. Just heavy enough to where what you are doing. Yeah. But that's all I really have on that, because I've noticed it from the way you work and you look at a lot of things.
I do my thing, I do my thing. But let's see.
Hey, yo, what up, Krim? It's been a while.
We've been on this topic for a bit, so I'm gonna play this Haka video.
Hey, yo, Haka. I gotta turn my volume for this. On the player again.
Right here.
My controller just died, so I can't move.
Let's see, let's get a wedding Haka. This one. To wind down the evening with a good old-fashioned Haka.
How many more topics do we have?
Oh, that's the last one, pretty much. We did hot takes, and this is the Haka portion.
Oh, cool.
You muted Fox.
I know. I'm explaining to an old friend what we're doing.
Oh, okay. These are real people. It's just so fucking cool. Nutty. But let's see here now. We're almost at 3 hours, which means we're almost we're almost free. We're almost time for the end of the stream time.
Wow.
Wow. So,
Any last 10-minute topics?
last minute, we got any call-ins from the chat? Anybody from the chat want to call into the studio? We'll get you in within the last 10 minutes to ask a lore question or anything that you want to ask. Where that you join in is you go into the Jazzy Cats Club of the Syndicate main Discord at discord.gg/Mortesian.
I'll actually ask one of the questions that my friend asked me. I gave a bit of explanation for. Why the 1920s, Grand? Why did you choose that?
Because it's a cool time period, and I wanted to wear a boater hat. It's also
There you go, Trim.
It's also like the 1920s is enough of a technological like specification, like in terms of like the age in which technology there was. It's enough to where you're able to do things uniquely. Because anybody could go to like the modern day and have a phone, have a car, have like this, that, and this and that. But that would also imply that, you know, I don't really want to make a crime community based in the modern day, because that would probably get a lot of like local law enforcement eyes on me.
Yeah.
And I don't really like
fine.
that. If it's in the 1920s, at least it's within like the structure of, you know, Italian mafia criminal syndicates growing up within like the eastern portions of the country as well as in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
which is
So
fine.
I'm actually going to add to their statement a bit. They just said, "Hope y'all are ready for Germany in a few years," and I will say, we actively plan on doing that.
Yeah, Germany's gonna be fun. It's not going to be just
in a very specific manner.
utilizing Wolfboy Hitler.
Yeah.
But the
And the Nazis.
it's not the shut the fuck up. It's not that. World War II is not going to be based in the whole Nazi occupation of the various European countries and all that jazz. In fact, Germany currently in character is going through a civil war between those favorable to Wolfboy Hitler's ideologies and those who are loyal to Imperial Germany, like the imperial concept of Germany, where there was the monarch and the monarch was at the the helm of things. As far as I can recall. Regardless, the two groups are going against each other, and they have undead support because they've done some Call of Duty-esque type of zombie experimentation and turning somebody into a lichling, and now that's what they're doing. But Germany is not going to be probably inclusive of the bad ideology, if you know what I mean. There will be a World War II, but it's not going to be based off of that. It's going to be based off of the world going to war the second time.
There you go. Krim says it's very interesting. Sorry. For context for you guys, this is an old friend who I actually used to stream with a while back amongst an old group of mine when I worked my old job.
So I see.
He tends to work the late night gang. Yes, altered history, as long as weebs still get their export or still get exported from Japan in a few decades, we all win.
Yeah.
That's their exact statement.
By the way, Grand, I believe Nikolai's going to be hopping in a few minutes to call in, if that's alright. ADM me.
So then, well, how long? Because we're at 3 minutes until the hour.
Technically 4 minutes, or 3 minutes actually.
I just said that.
Now.
It's what are y'all talking about?
3 minutes until we hit 3 hours.
As in stream time.
Oh, for the stream. I thought you meant to the hour mark. I'm about to say, y'all goofy.
You'll lose track of time.
I'm looking at the live for 2 hours 57 minutes.
I'll bring this context up for Grim. Grim, there's actively a thing in our world called the hentai dimension.
We're not going into that
Where would the
further.
world get their hentai from? I know. I'm not going into it, but yeah, that's a thing.
I just realized I've been sitting on a coffee cup this whole time. What the hell?
It's a thing that's not a thing. Because we don't explore.
Siren says, head pats for everyone for a well done podcast.
Woo! Thank you for the follow, Exdel. Exdel. The new Shikaku. I remember that one. But how long are we going to wait for Nikolai? How long do I have to wait?
Give him a minute. If
Going
he's not
back
here,
to the
we were
shows.
ending.
Are we going? Are we departing?
We'll probably go to movie and chill.
We still have. Here's a question while we wait. Favorite movies to everyone at the table and back there.
Oh God.
Oh, Vmon's still here. What you doing over there on the couch, Vmon?
Yeah. He said be right back.
He had to dip out for a sec. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
3-hour
Darren.
podcast.
Hello, Fury. How you feeling, Fury?
Last few times we actually went 5 hours for our test ones.
Well,
Yeah, but I'm dying.
Grand, fine, I guess.
Come over here. Come over
House-wise,
here. Come sit right there.
I was taking over the skating rink.
Are you a beetle maid?
Oh,
Hey,
Squid.
yo.
Huh?
Squid.
How do you feel? How are you feeling, Fury?
Is that who I think it is?
I feel like the house is on the verge of collapse.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Oh, Nikolai's here.
And
but keep talking, keep going.
I won't lie, Grand. I'm not gonna lie to any of you. I'm completely burned out. Hell, I've taken a week. I've been spending time over at the Engineers. Hell, I've even kind of building my own world and kind of wanted to do my own role play thing. Small scaled and disconnected from a lot of stuff, but I'm burnt out, man.
What do you think is the primary reason for that burnout?
I feel like the workload is a lot on me, a lot on Danger, Locke.
From what point?
Everything I try and think of to try and push the house, maybe like do like a small thing here or there, it just either ends in failure or it's just like, I can't really do that. So I'm just sitting here like, fuck do I do?
Gum's got some good ideas currently. I heard Imp House.
Yeah. I've been trying to help him when, being a DM with the like small little things. Push him. He's been spearheading a lot of it. And I'm just here.
Have you considered being a Duxa Tenari DM full-time versus a Diablo staff member?
I've been considering stepping down back to Capo. I've been considering it for a while now. But I'm a stubborn bastard, Grand. I want Diablos to succeed. I do. But I just don't have the fire in me anymore, man.
Well, these are things that we can probably get to Nocturne to be able to see what they can do. If anything, and if they're not going to do anything, then we could just, push them on to do something that they need to do, I have faith.
Say, this is probably stuff you should be talking to Nocturne about, Fury. If you haven't already.
That gets into a whole lot.
I was gonna bring it out. It does get into a whole lot. I love Nocturne. Great friend. Wonderful person. But personally, I feel like their priorities lie elsewhere. A lot of the times.
Would it be a situation in which, if you had the opportunity to just take the Diablos as yours, if you become the house leader of the Diablos, do you feel that the workload would lessen comparably because you would be able to help delegate tasks and such to a better degree just by being here?
I don't know if I would be able to do it, man. I don't have enough confidence in myself to think I would be able to push the Diablos where it needs to go.
I'll see what we can do. I have some ideas.
Would I take it? Maybe. But I guess I just need reassurance to if I'm even ready to take on such a task.
It's not about being ready.
Until you try.
It's not about being ready, though. I didn't intend to go into the Lolly Mafia making the Syndicate. I didn't go into that assuming that we were going to be like immediately the best community out there. I knew that there were going to be bumps in the road. I knew that there were going to be things that required, constant effort and, pushes towards. The amount of time it took to write down things costed days of sleep for me. But I knew that if I wanted it to succeed, that I would have to put my efforts towards it. I had to put my 100% so that I could ensure that everything that I needed to get done could get done. Now we're getting sponsorships from companies. We're getting, numerous people coming in through the roleplay and enjoying what we do. Merchandise is being sold and all that noise. And we're starting to build up ourselves. We're building up our community to a better point as we carry on. But the belief that you're not good enough doesn't stem from successes, it stems from the failures. And it takes a lot of failure to be able to get to a point of success. And I know you know that, A lot of people have to fail, whether it be by way of, Darwinism or just simple effort, like trial and error. People will fail constantly. And it's demoralizing as fuck. Constantly. Like,
extremely.
When we were in the, I can give for myself in this example, but when Tricky left, and when he left to go do his own thing, that demoralized the fuck out of me, because, he was one of the first people that I created this community with, alongside Panda. Same thing with Panda. When he had to go to the, what's it called? When he had to get rid of his equipment so that he could buy a new car, and he couldn't be on VR chat for a while, but he was, wasn't even able to be around on the Discord too much because he was busy working and trying to figure out his housing situation. We did a whole leaving party, and there was tears shed, people were sad as fuck and all that noise. These situations that occurred were constant negatives that continued to bash and beat the fuck out of me at every point as we moved forward. Getting told by somebody who was a popular figure within the communities sections of the VR chat space, getting said that we would not be able to succeed without their help. That pissed me off, but it motivated me because it felt as if these people saw us as a failure of a community. All these different situations that people have down-talked or downtrodden on our people of the Syndicate, of the Mortesians, has constantly tried to beat me over in the head and say that we're worthless, that there's no point to doing this, there's nothing to it. Yet, when I look at the people that are around us, when I see their smiles, their expressions, when I hear how happy they are, when I hear their stories of what they say when it comes to whether they did something cool in the roleplay, or if they have something happening in their life that they're happy of. Jeebus within the Imperials, within Serpents, he literally had a kid in the time of Fuji to now. And that's crazy as fuck, because Jeebus was, one of the dudes. He was one of the bros fighting in Fuji. And he was cool. He was badass as fuck. He was cool. And now he's a father. And teaching them these stories that we're talking about. Him intending to learn Nefeshi, and people learning entire languages that we write. That's fucking nutty. Lord of the Rings did that. Star Trek, Star Wars, all these massive things. People put their efforts towards and started trying to learn all these different things solely so that they could be better versions of themselves within this the roleplay that we do. And that's terrifying. It's absolutely fucking terrifying. I'm not even meant to be a quote-unquote extroverted person. I'm fairly introverted when it comes down to it. I don't even like going into public worlds. Talking to new people is something that I have to do because I'm just, that's my position. I have the answers at the most time when it comes to the rooms within the VR chat spaces of Syndicate roleplay and whatnot. It's my job to know. So being able to answer questions and make myself appear appealing to people. It's all these different things that we've had to do solely to maintain the success that we have had so far. And it's work. It's a lot of fucking work. It's not just me. It's all the Imperial Consigliers, every Dawn, Consigliere, Godfather, the underbosses that do their jobs, the capos that do their jobs. It's a constant effort across the entirety of the staff to be able to ensure that every day we're able to provide something that makes people enjoy their day, enjoy their lives, enjoy the event. Because it matters to people. Hearing their stories of how the Syndicate has made them a happier person. Talking about how the Syndicate staves off suicidal thoughts. Like, hearing how we're able to literally help people out of medical situations and, like, talk them through, like, medical issues that are ongoing. Help them work out and become physically fit. Educate them on different sciences and concepts that they wouldn't be able to learn anywhere else. Treasury, finances, learning how to do taxes. All this stuff is things that we, like a group of people online, are doing together. That's fucking terrifying that we're able to do all this stuff. And when it comes to failure, again, it needs to occur. The first systems didn't work. The first ways of running our community didn't operate to what we wanted them to be. It wasn't a good enough standard. If it comes to the point where the standard needs to be changed, we're actively willing and ready to make that that adaptation to be a better community, a better version of ourselves. When it comes to having no confidence in that, it gets difficult to do any of that. You don't even want to get up in the morning some days because you feel that weight pressing down on you, as if like the failure of your actions are just keeping you pinned to your bed. And it's fucking, it's a demoralizing thing to see. But it's always, to me, lifted by the fact that the people that we're doing it for are having the best days of their life solely by the things that you're doing here now. You know? I have faith that you, Fury, want to learn to do better. You're currently, you've got your business IRL you're doing, you got, your stressors on your own shoulders already, yet you still want to learn how to do more. So you've got, everything that you have in your head, every idea that you want to do being pulled back by your emotions, by your heart telling you, no, it's not right. It's not going to work. The failures are piled on your heart and they're making it stronger. That, to me, is defeating the point of growth. Because if you can't control your heart from telling your mind that it is not worthy, then you're never going to be able to love the things that you do. The imposter syndrome of thinking that you're not good enough is stupid. You're fantastic. I have never seen, well, at least within the Diablo's history, somebody who's so actively willing to want to learn to do better for his people. During the whole conversation that we had with, prior to doing the hell fight, in which they got the imp, and like Aranya ran off to the hell spider stuff. You actively wanting to learn how to do like combat RPs to that point, and like the different settings that we do it in, and learning how to run a proper military campaign to a better degree that actually results in successes, it showcased to me that you actually want to do better, and you deserve to be one of the people who learns how to do better, because you want to do better for yourself and for the people that you would be at the helm of, you'd be the leader of. So I have faith in you, Fury. I have faith that you can do it, so long as you find within yourself that reminder that the people that you're doing it for are the entire reason that it's worth continuing onward. Because they can't do it. They can't build up within themselves a confidence from a victory that you helped them gain. I was at the helm of every single combat session that we did during Fuji. I was either a DM or I was, my Grand on the front line leading my soldiers, setting up things with the others that were doing stuff. Poi setting traps in the fields, Bjorn, maintaining guards in certain locations, and I being overhead, observing and like directing them with micromanaged, orders here and there, or being in the fight myself and beating the fuck out of the enemies. That's what I did because that's my thing, I have to be there in the fight to be able to, prove to my people both that I deserve it, Like I'm doing this for them, and that I am earning it to also gain their favor, to also, do the things that we all are here to do. Win the war, win the fight, beat these odds that are being stacked against us, conquer our tomorrow sort of stuff. Roaming up in the face of the enemy. That's what I did. And it's worked. Now the Imperials have, several vassal houses across the board, from Metaversal to, Syndicate. We're setting up temples within numerous different lands, building up an entire army of, like, essentially people from across the world. And it's cool as fuck. But our work isn't done yet. We're still not even, we still haven't even, like, accomplished our goal as the Imperials. We still have to expand a territory and complete these objectives, But we're all actively there. You've got Vemon, who's actively working to, shore up the borders of Serpens and make sure shit's going right. Junie, who's doing his best to support his brother. You've got Band, who's actively on, despite everything that's happening to Band right now in terms of his personal life, he's still putting that effort in to work through it. He's going through a bit at the moment, but he's doing his best to ensure that Serpens still runs and still able to function to its highest degree. You've got Panda, who's always in these sort of, like, weird situations where his finances cause him to have to, like, sell his equipment, so it's difficult for him to maintain, like, complete congruent and attendance and activity to be able to interact with the community. Yet he's at the head of HR, who's constantly talking to people and helping them through their problems, both in and out of the community. All these people, to me, are the very reason why I should continue to try to fight to ensure this community prospers. Because these people deserve it. They're putting in this effort to ensure that this succeeds, so I too want to put the effort in to ensure that this succeeds for them. And it's difficult with the Diablos, because not every Diablo is oriented around the same goal, the same desires. There's some that want to go do this, there's some that want to go do that, some want to go do this. It's all across the board. Yet, you also have that same situation with the Engineers, who with their own things are doing, like, 3 different entire campaign concepts all at the same time. Consolidation of goals and desires is probably the only way that it's really going to be able to go in a better way to ensure that things get better. Because if everybody's working towards the same goals, everybody wants the same things within the house, such as territory, information, expansion, etc. If you want to prove that you're able to gain, you have earned your battles, you have to fight for them. But if nobody wants to fight, and nobody wants to learn how to fight together, then it's just going to be a disconnected battle. If nobody's going to put the effort in to learn how to be a good commander, nobody's going to be able to lead them. Nobody's going to be able to teach them how to set proper traps, to fight on the front lines, to inspire them. It's difficult to get these things if the house isn't all willing to put themselves into that situation to do that. Bjorn wouldn't have become Bjorn if he didn't want to go and do this for these people. Poi wouldn't have survived if he didn't, wanted to actually, like, accomplish a goal, defeating of Kronos, or at least blowing up the arm of Kronos so that he didn't come into the mortal realm. Leo with taking on the Oracle so that they could be able to, take care of Pythia's curse. All these different things. All these different people with these different goals in mind that are pushing them to be able to succeed. And these are individuals. If they're able to put that idea to a house and get that same loyalty, that same fervor to get that shit accomplished, then it's golden. Everybody wants to work together, everybody's happy doing it, and everybody's getting through it together. There's unified peace. People within the same houses actually wanting those same houses to prosper. The Imperials, though we're as large as we are, still are all together seeking to gain the most out of what we can for the Imperials. Territory, land, units, expansion to Nefeshi, conquest into the Fey realms, power within the Fey wilds, taking over the Americas, defeating the Black Chamber, killing the Antioch. These are all a bunch of different fucking, like, campaigns and ideas and things that we want to do, but we're all actively willing to work on these things in a checklist fashion to get them done. I have faith in you, Fury. I have faith in the leadership of the Diablos to actually accomplish it. I have faith in Gumro to be able to do what he's got to do, and I have faith that those new members who eventually come down down the line with the Diablos, if they see the leadership is actively putting the effort in, they'll too want to put the effort in as well. But if there's no effort that's being showcased, there's nothing being produced, and there's no results, then ultimately it's either that there's an issue somewhere along the pipeline, or that there's no direct, goal. There's no point to it. That's my opinion on it, Thoughts, contentions?
That was a lot of information to take in.
I apologize. I sometimes just go on tangents.
Yeah, I've noticed that, but it's fine.
Yeah, I go on tangents a lot. I talk a lot.
Am I allowed to sit in on this?
But
we're about to end the stream though. Just needed to get those final bits out. Nocturne. Any final closing?
The main thing is,
final. Yeah.
I just need to be taught all the things that I need to, because I don't know what I need to do. I need the experience, but I guess I just don't know who to go to ask. I would go to you, but I know you're already so busy with everything else.
I'm not busy enough to answer questions. The DMs have been slowing down because there's more DMs that are around that are doing things for me. If people have questions, I will answer them to the best of my ability, so long as I know that I'm being asked them, or I remember to answer them. You are free to ask me questions, and you are also free to tag along and or have us tag along, because I'm not going to say that the Imperials are, the best teachers for everything. I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to say that. But if you want to potentially use Imperial soldiers along the way, like have the Imperial presence be there as you're taking territory in Hell, to be able to learn how to fight wars while you're doing them, like, having like advisor roles, things of that stuff. If you want that, I'm down to do that, because I want to see the Diablos succeed. I want to see these houses, become competent commanders enough to be able to lead their soldiers towards successful battles versus lead them towards failures. And it's not bad to have a failure. We lose battles constantly. We lose in different ways, because ultimately, as the Syndicate overall, it's just, Sierran says, Imperial trained Diablo soldiers. Could be. But we as a Syndicate lose battles often. Be they personal battles, be they, goals overall. Every single laser dome tournament we've lost. We're not that good at Laserdome. I would like to be, but we don't have a team for it anymore. Nobody's got the time. But I think that if the Diablos wanted to, they would be able to do more if they asked the questions to the people that they didn't want to ask questions to. Like, a lot of people think that Lucifer's a bad guy, but I feel as if the Antichrist is doing more. If you really want a question, I have Lucifer Avatar. I have you could just summon Lucifer or Dracula.
Isn't Lucifer against the Diablos?
No, he doesn't care. The last time that Lucifer showed up,
Isn't Lucifer technically a bless?
And no, last time that Lucifer was there, he was mostly spiting Fox, because Fox was actively allowing for Bless to be within their presence and not kneel before them. And they presented themselves very submissively, but also against Lucifer, as being very rebellious and abstinent against whatever Lucifer was saying. However, when he went over to Savage, and Savage was actively leading him around and talking to him as if he was of equal status and or of respect, he elevated Savage to the rank of Duke to spite both Fox and to reward him for actually being a good demon. That's why Savage became a Duke. He doesn't even have territory. He just likes drugs.
The drug Duke.
I have faith
It's the
that
Duke of Drugs.
if y'all wanted to, you'd be able to find these like specific NPCs that exist out in the wilds of hell, or demonic lands, or Shademic territory. Yeah, like Iloth or Eloth, or apostrophe Loth.
Yeah.
You'd be able to find more of these people if you just took the plunge and jumped. Like you jumped in
I mean, I
and you
just
did
straight
it.
up went and looked in hell.
Like Gum is taking the plunge and just jumping and doing the thing with the imp stuff in the castle and all that jazz. Take the jump, do something, and if it doesn't work, do it a different way. If that works, cool. Go along that until it doesn't work and do it a different way. Because the point in don't stop, never stop. Because if you stop for any moment, then you're going to get stuck. I have faith in y'all. It just takes that time to get there. And if you want to, we can, I can teach you in combat based off of, like, doing stuff with serpents, and you get your soldiers, and you do stuff. Just invite engineers, too. But get everybody together. I'm going to beat you.
In terms of taking the plunge, should I keep doing what I'm doing, or?
Do whatever the fuck you want.
Because that's the thing.
No, do whatever you want.
Well, because you're talking about taking the plunge and like doing risks.
Taking risks.
Well, yeah, but what I mean by that is what I've been assigned to do isn't really a plunge, I guess, per se.
So, you are helping to train Hell Spiders, actual characters that are going to be Diablos, that are helping the Diablos in whatever they need to get done. What's wrong with that? It took me like 2 months to train the Imperials in the basics of Skirmisher to where they were able to do a testudo to a high enough degree of, like, competency. You have time.
That in of itself is the okay.
You have time to exist. But yes, sure.
In answer to your question, yes, I would like that. I would like to be taught like an Imperial.
Who, Vimon, who is the envoy that Serpents has for Diablos?
It's
currently it's Lohawk. Lohawk is the envoy.
That's a good envoy. Try a couple of things
you
first.
already interacted with the Diablos a lot beforehand.
Try this. Go with Lohawk on kidnapping missions. Go with him to do kidnapping missions and do things of that sort. See how he does them. And then, after a bit of time, maybe like you go to a couple of his kidnapping missions, you see how he does it, see what works, what doesn't. After that, go to do your own. But instead of kidnapping people, you kidnap demons. You kidnap specifically demonic type avatars. Like, out in the wilds of the public. It'll take a bit of time because there's a lot more, that's a lot more of a niche thing, but you can also do dragons or, imps, Miru avatars for succubi. Anything that looks like a demon of any form. You could go out there and you could just kidnap them and say, we're taking you with us, demon to hell, etc. And you take them to a Diablo's instance and take a picture of them in a cage, and then, boom, you've captured them, and now you have slaves. You got POWs.
I'd like to join in on that fury.
And then you can subjugate them and turn them into demons in your army. And then you have people in your army. You have recruits that are coming through. You get more recruits into the house, more people to do things with. And it's just more and more things that you can just utilize at the same time. More and more pieces to the puzzle.
Yo, Grand.
There was the one thing I had an idea about. Fury and I still want to do, or you brought up, and Fury and I still want to. I don't know if you still want to do Fury, but I personally do, and that's recruiting mundane or those who wish essentially to go down the route of demonics, like those of like. I'm using Satanists as a generalized term. I know modern day Satanism isn't like devil worshipping and all that, but just like 1920s term Satanists, like going outside the Bible Belt and recruiting them, figuring out a way to go about doing that.
To go out there and find Satanists, I mean, go into town, hear the local rumors about the town. Oh, I hear there were ghosts in those woods. You know, go to a tavern, go to an inn, technically a bar, because 1920s speakeasy. Speakeasies are a place to go because speakeasy, you speak
That's
easily.
a war order, right?
No, it's a side RP.
Okay, side RP.
Because if it's
that was another thing. Is just I didn't fully know how to go about that. Whether it was just DMU war order or any of that. And
war orders
I'll
come
be honest,
to.
I probably should have asked earlier.
War orders are when you're trying to use a large amount of your NPCs all at once, like overarching things. Work orders are for things specifically that relate to economy and industry, like what you're making, what you're using, what you're buying, what you're selling. And that's the difference between the two. They work together and they pair together through the financial or the treasury system, as well as with what we're doing with war orders by affecting all the other things. So if a war order says that this thing fails, people
more
die.
militaristic, along with advancement, things like that. So that's like where it comes to Korea. I had to write up all the different things that my forces were doing, surveying areas, manning lumber mills, starting up the mining and training to do that. Then we had people starting up building up parts of the city from the materials that were mined. That is distribution management. So I would say strategy to an extent / Castellan in a sense.
Castellan is of the maintenance of forts and supply lines.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, is it would be more the supply lines between each and everything there, managing the people and their actions that they're doing, and making sure they're maintained.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah. Any other questions?
Not as of right now. I'm done. Thank you, Grant.
Gotcha. Then we can probably start heading out and ending this off. You want to go first, Foxtail?
If you want to go with someone else real quick, I'm just explaining some of our stuff for the committee real quick.
Gotcha. And Vmon, do your thing.
You can follow me on King Black Beamon on Twitch, or the Mertation Syndicate. Make sure to get your, Factory 76. Did I say that right?
75.
75. I usually have a notepad for the sponsorship, just like randomly saying.
That's good. Junie?
Bark, bark, bark. Always stay doggy.
Maybe a future streamer. We don't know. I'll probably make a
Oh, Junie gonna start streaming?
Please don't. Please don't force me into that lifestyle.
Don't do it, buddy. Don't do it.
Come on.
As a streamer, don't do it.
I think it'd be funny.
I don't think I could last.
I think it'd be cool if you two would make a channel together.
I burned out so badly. I didn't stream for months.
We're just canceled. I'm gonna be real with you.
I swear to God.
You can't be canceled for being,
I mean, look.
You know what me and Junie
There are
do.
ways.
If it's on YouTube, if it's on YouTube,
there
technically
are
we
ways
can.
around it. There are ways around it.
Could do YouTube.
We can say it on YouTube. I don't know about Twitch.
Go
Twitch
watch
is another,
Swagger
but
Souls.
YouTube is fine. YouTube is fine.
YouTube don't pay money though.
Yeah, it do.
You gotta earn your weight. You gotta earn your weight for YouTube to pay you some lines.
But we'll go over to
You gotta
gun.
make them money for them to make you money.
Yeah, it's true. Gun.
What do I do?
An outro. Who are you? Where where can we find you? Etc. Etc.
I'm your local quiet fanboy. You can find me on Twitch, Gumro. You can find me on YouTube, Gumro Maker, where I make stuff from scratch and make a time lapse of it. You can also find me in the Mortician Syndicate server at Discord/Mortician.
Cool. Discord.gg / fuck Martesian. Sage, do your outro. If you were
Come on
unmuted.
and follow this.
There you go. There you go.
Come on and follow this decrepit streamer at twitch.tv/SageTheMage. Remember, use your Amazon Prime subscription. Also, you can find me chilling around the Mortesian Syndicate, just being a chaotic dumbass and just doing what gotta be done. Love you all dearly. Good night and stay safe.
Fury.
Oh shit! I actually have to give an outro. Fuck.
You're there.
You're at the table.
Well.
Get fucked.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting fucked here. I'm Fury. I guess still am somewhat of a meme lord. JFK. Viva Del Diablos, I guess. The fire is back, baby.
I didn't. Foxtail.
Alrighty, so what up everyone? It's Foxtail_Games here, again, also known as Shion. Also known as Shion. In this case, I'm lovely co-host to Grand Vita Mortem here, our wonderful leader. But at the same time, thank you everyone for stopping in, and have yourself a wonderful moonlit night.
Oh, you were cringe.
Oh, that's cringe. That's cringe. That's cringe. That's
I'm gonna rate that
cringe.
pretty high on the cringe meter,
That
man.
was
like
pretty
a
cringe.
good 8.
That was.
We get it. You wanna like sit on the moon. I get it.
That's that was pretty cringe.
Was that the whole like
Sage, get back over there.
2005 YouTuber vibe?
Sage.
Like, you know.
You want to try again?
I don't care.
You want
I
to
liked it.
you want to try again?
Fuck you.
You sure?
Let's not
Fuck
bully
you,
them.
I
Let's
like
not
it.
bully them. Let's not bully them.
You're not bullying me because I don't give a shit. That's the biggest thing. I could give 0 fucks.
Thank you all for watching. My name's Grand Vita Mortem. This is the first episode of Syndicast. It's over there. It's all the way over there.
And fuck the moon.
Respectfully.
Hey, yo.
Bitch ass. That's why your bitch ass squealed like a little bitch.
We're gonna raid Chrome. Chrome is streaming, so let's raid Chrome.
Remember,
If you want to.
go follow your favorite Spider-Man.
do them.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
I need to watch Wednesday. I've heard mixed things about it.
I'm not
Folks
really a
were
person
watching it
for it.
recently.
Apparently, it's a good show, but some of the dialogue can be cringe.
Wait, hello there.
Probably.
These are the outro noises. Somebody's trying to join. Spandex is trying to join the syndicate.
Who?
Spandex, one of the new associates or soldiers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the.
Nice.
Damn.
So you ready, Foxtail?
No, but yep, I'm rating you now. Oh, yep, there we go. 8, 7. I'm just waiting for it to load up. But in this case, Grim, if you do have any interest, shoot me a message. I can help you get in.
Was there a banana here?
We just gotta get you fill out your application form.
Yes, you didn't know. I was right there.
You can be desktop. You don't have to be bodied or things like that. We have a lot of people who come in on desktop. Look at this one.
Why
No
you look
hands.
at
He's a
me?
cripple.
I have hands. I just
You
don't
need
have
used to
money.
be a cripple.
Foxtail. Foxtail. Do your thing.
There we go, rating now.
Buy gold.
Buy gold. 7 viewers. Wow, you were wacky. You did good.
I know how I'm gonna do
Yeah.
this.
I did decent.
Oh, you have a nice
Most
day.
people don't
Hey,
stop
yo,
buying
remember-
me.
I already turned it off.
It's fun.
I know you did. That was the whole point.
By the way, Grant, did anything happen with the Soviet